And I felt the beat writers back then were using their pen as a weapon. I said, I'm going to start relationships, which was taboo back then. I was told, no, you're not friends with players. I'm like, I got more in common with them than I do with you. And I got murdered for doing that. I became the first guy to start relationships with players, coaches, front office. I'm like, this is the way I'm going to do it. We only have a couple times in our lives that you really find out who the you are. And this is one for me because I said, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be different no matter what. I'm going to outwork them it doesn't matter what I have to do. And that call that came in from my agent, I was like, man, that validated me that I was right.
Welcome to Games with Names. I'm Julian Edelman. They're Jack and Kyler. And we're on a mission to find the greatest game of all time. And on today's episode, we are covering Super Bowl 42 again. Giants versus the Patriots with the original insider, MMA aficionado, and my Fox teammate, Jay Glazer. And we get into talking his friendship with Michael Strahan. Who's your best friend?
Well, my baby sister.
Who's your baby sister?
Michael Strahan.
How he has the only copy of Spygate.
Belichick called. He's like, hey, man, I got something for you. No, I'm just for you guys.
My head almost exploded. And what it's like to party at the NFL owners' meetings.
Because it was Vrabel, Billy O'Brien, Doug Marrone, and those guys were like two old guys from the Muppets. They were classic.
And we're picking our starting 5 celebrity sports fans in this week's Chill Zone, brought to you by Coors Light. You gotta stick around to the very end. Let's go. Games with Names, a production of iHeartRadio. February 3rd, 2008, University of Phoenix Stadium, Glendale, Arizona.
Down 4, 3rd and 5, minute and 15 left. Perfection on the line.
Eli Manning scrambles, and he throws up a prayer to David Tyree. This is the David Tyree game.
Jay Glazer version.
Welcome to Games with Names. Today we are looking at Super Bowl 42. Again. Giants versus the Patriots. February 3rd, 2008. The 18-1 Giant game with Jay Glazer. Welcome to the studio, bro.
I don't mean to give you like PTSD by coming on talking about this, dude. I mean,
I don't get it as much.
Mental health now, so if you want to just open up to me,
exactly.
I got you. I got you covered.
I don't have to because I didn't play on this team. I am associated with the team, and I am part of the organization.
Sure.
So it doesn't hurt me quite as bad as the 11 one.
Right.
Because I was on that team. So regardless, talking about a Giants-Patriots is hurtful.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So welcome to the house, Jay.
Appreciate
Thanks
it,
for coming. In one sentence, why this game?
My best friend won it.
Your best friend won it. Who's your best friend?
Obviously, well, my baby sister.
Who's your baby sister?
Michael Strahan.
Is this the greatest game of all time?
I don't know if I ever like to go that greatest, whatever. I mean, it's the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. I remember also, so listen, we did this game at Fox, and there's a couple things I remember. Number one, I'm out there on the field before him, and Alicia Keys is warming up, and I go over to start messing with Strahan, but Michael's like in the zone. Fuck that, dude. There's Alicia Keys. Like, dude, there's Alicia. He's like, will you leave me the fuck alone? I'm like, dude, there's Alicia Keys. Look at Alicia Keys. Like, dude. He's like, leave me alone. It was just, but I remember also turning to the PR director at the time for the Giants, Peter John Baptiste, who's now with the Browns. And I said, I think you guys are going to win this. I think Eli's going to be the MVP. And the reason why is he's out there, shoot, throwing bullets. Everybody out there, even like Stray, who we would normally fuck around, he's locked in. And the Patriots, they're going to hate that I say this, though. I remember it feeling like it was a fun trip, right? Because the Giants weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And the Giants were like, this is a business trip.
And this is
we came to shock the world. And I just remember seeing like, some of the Patriots players, the kids are running around in the field. They're having some fun beforehand. And that was not like that for the Giants at all. And then early in the game, the D-line. Go ahead.
Let's jump into the game. We'll jump into the game. But is this
you got to corral my ADHD here, brother.
Is this the greatest game of all time?
I don't got ADHD. I got elemental P. I'm so far gone.
So if this isn't the greatest game of all time, give me your top 2. Just the 3 that come to your head right now. It could be in any sport. It could be a fight. It could be a wrestling match. It could be
the best fight. One I loved the most was Hagler Hearns.
Hagler Hearns. That would be an insane game to do or fight to do. That was an absolute melee for the first. Like it was just.
Did Bill Burr say that? Bill Burr said that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was great.
We had Hearns come talk to or Hagler come talk to us once.
Come on.
Yeah.
Look, he's from Brockton.
He's from
right?
Brockton.
Yeah.
And then he moved. He lived in Italy. I think he just passed recently.
Yeah, he was like a movie star.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I love that. That was that. Okay, so that's probably up there for me. Man, I've been around so many crazy MMA fights. I think the best fight that I saw MMA wise was Robbie Lawler against Rory McDonald. Because it was like Robbie Lawler just kind of make a decision at the end of the third round. He got kicked in his face, spit blood, stood up, walked at Rory, who was kicking his ass the whole time. And all of a sudden he was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
This is changing. And it's just, and whenever I've coached guys in mixed martial arts forever and players, I always use that. You make a decision and you move forward. And that is that.
Yeah.
And that's like the example I've always used. But as far as football games go, it's got to be up there.
It is.
It's absolutely
David
gotta be
versus
up there.
Goliath.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
and
so
just
many.
the Tyree catch itself was just
Tyree
insane.
catch. Giants come out on top. Let me see.
I was gonna say 28-3, man.
Blah,
28-3.
blah.
But
Yeah.
all right. You were
Hey, I'll
talking.
tell you this too, the 28-3 game. So we did that game too. And Stray and I brought Usher with us. So wait, beforehand, the NFC Championship game, so we were in Mexico with Usher, name drop, and Michael and I did this thing where Usher was performing the next night, and we're like, dude, we're doing shots. And he's like, I can't do shots, man. I'm performing tomorrow night. We're like, stop being a fucking wuss. You're doing shots with us. So we're doing shots with him, but Michael and I are just doing water. And we gave Usher probably 14 shots of tequila. We fucked him up so bad. He was beyond cross. I don't know how he performed the next night. But during that night, he's like, hey, if the Falcons make the NFC Championship game, I want to come be with you guys on the sideline. So you could do it, but you got to be my fucking sideline assistant. I'm going to wear you out, right? Yeah. And we didn't really think the Falcons were going to make the NFC Championship game. Sure shit, they make it. So, hey, a deal's a deal. I'm like, hey, you come down, we're going to get you a pass, sideline pass, but you got to be my sideline assistant. And he walking around my little fucking Red Bull and my makeup and pads, and I was literally doing stuff just to fuck her. I'd like put something over here, and I'd be like, ahem.
Yeah.
And you have to run over and get it and walk over and tell people who's my assistant. At one point, we're on the air, and I call him Moskowitz. My ex-girlfriend asked if Usher was his real name. I said, no, it's actually Usher Moskowitz. He was raised by Jews, which obviously it's not, but I just said it. And so I call him Moskowitz forever. So he comes on live TV and he tries to pat my head. I said, Moskowitz, what are you doing? And the whole world's like, why is he calling Usher Moskowitz? So anyway, there's the ADD. So later on that 28-3 game, Howie Long obviously is going nuts because Chris
He's playing for first
is
Super
playing
Bowl.
is losing 28-3. And Usher comes into our green room and he is celebrating, and fucking Herman Munster, the bolts on his neck start lighting up in the
Who's
veins.
Herman Munster?
Howie Long.
Okay.
Hate starts going, the veins, and he's like, and we're like, no, get out. We are like, Usher, get the fuck out. Howie's about to murder you.
This is full Broken Arrow Howie.
This is full, yeah. So anyway, that was a 28-3 game. But this game, it was just the Tyree thing itself. But dude, I don't know, because your catch two in that 28-3 game, man, all right, I don't know which is more of an insane catch. I don't know what's more of an insane catch.
Well,
First down.
We all talk about Tyree's, but also that catch you had, dude, is just, I just saw it again recently. And I'm like, how the fuck did that little squirrel catch on that thing? Hold on, it's unbelievable.
They're both very, very
Did you
entertaining
realize, did you always know you had it the whole time?
Yeah.
Or you did?
games. It's like mic'd up.
No, I know that, but did you?
No, I didn't
like
think
when you're going down.
I knew I didn't think I had it the whole time, but when I
That's what I'm
saw it
saying.
right before and I snatched it, like after that, I was like, yeah, I fully got that.
So you didn't think the ground hit?
Never,
nothing. Right.
you knew. You always kind of
Right.
know that. It's kind of
How
like
much-
tennis and serves. Like, like with the servers, like sometimes the eye can't see it, but those tennis players know.
Dude, that's
that shit's
that's
wide.
a horrible fucking comparison.
I think it's perfect.
Dude, a tennis serve as to what you did?
Yeah,
Are you
tennis
shitting
serve.
me? They have a million
I'm
tennis
talking
serves,
about
dude.
the judgment
This
if
is
I
one
made
of
the call
one.
or not, the catch or not. You know what I
Yours is
mean?
one of one.
No, I know, but I mean, I'm talking about like the actual scenario of like when judgment isn't in. Did you make the catch or not? Is it in or is it out?
Does it slow down for you, or is it chaos?
I don't really remember.
Okay.
Here's a question for you. Let's say you're in a scenario where like you know you didn't catch it, but it's close. Now, coach is maybe thinking about challenging it. Do you go to the coach and be like, don't challenge that?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Or not
Yeah,
just
you
like
don't
take
lose
a
a
chance.
timeout.
Yeah, you can't lose a timeout.
How much trouble do you get into if you try and sell them that it was a catch and it wasn't?
Let's just say there's been plenty of speeches and references. There's been plenty of speeches and references that we will not jump into this podcast of how they were delivered by the person they were delivered by. But getting back to regular life.
Yes, okay.
You were just at the owners' meetings. Like,
Yeah.
What's going on with that? You're
My day
always
drinking
like,
day?
yeah, I want to hear about. Like, give us the.
like
why are
legendary.
you there? One.
Because I fucking work for Fox.
B, two. How do you get everyone in one area?
Right.
And how do you become the party planner for all the head coaches? And number three, how was it?
Okay, so that's the 18th annual Jay Glazer Mike Tomlin Day Drink a Day.
18th annual.
I never really talked about this.
Hi, man.
And right, hi. And what we started doing years ago. So when you become a head coach in the NFL,
You're
I've
in a
helped
club.
a lot of guys
You're in a
move up,
club.
but also you have no idea what's about to come across your desk. So you know how fucked up everybody is in your locker room, okay? For the most part, somewhat. But when you're an assistant coach, you don't know. And all of a sudden this stuff comes across your desk. You could have 5 psychology and psychiatry degrees. It will not prepare you because you find out listen, you can't be on this level and not be fucked up, right? You got to be crazy to be great. And now you're dealing with the craziness of these players, front office, coaches, scouts, wives,
Travel.
everything.
Everything.
Right? Everything.
Everything's on the head coach's table.
And all of a sudden it's like, boom, this is on you. So we started doing this just to teach these cats, hey, this is about to come across your desk and be ready. But also I want to connect everybody.
Wait a minute.
So they can lean into each other.
Jay, are you basically saying, you know how we have the rookie symposium
Pretty much,
the
yeah.
NFL puts
Yeah,
on?
Pretty much.
You made the coaches
Yes.
symposium
Yeah.
by Jay Glazer for these coaches
And Mike Tomlin.
to
I can't take full
show
credit.
them how to deal with the responsibilities of a head coach.
Pretty much. And also,
We
so
should
they
call
have,
this something.
We call it the annual Jay Glaze Mike Tomlin Day Drink a Day.
Oh, okay.
We need T-shirts or something.
And we were thinking about that, yeah. Sean McVay, John Lynch are on the board.
Or like the special
Kevin-
teams coaches, the fall guys there, you know, like, hey,
No, because it's only head coaches. No special
it's
teams.
only-
Yeah. It's still,
Well,
the owners
do you
meeting
got
are
like
owners, presidents,
if a head coach
coaches,
needs
GMs.
something, do they hit up like one of the, hey, yo, I'm over at this hotel. Get us that bottle of
Yeah.
whiskey I told you about.
But even like, it was
And they
funny
come over and they like look into the party like, man, that's where all the big dogs are.
because Andy Reid
Look at
goes,
Jay. Oh,
why
Jay
do I never get
Glazer's-
invited?
He's beer bonging something. Look at him. Hey, get out of here, OC.
But listen, information's power, but also like these guys a lot of times don't know. Again, it's like hard to ask an assistant coach for advice. And I think now more than ever, you need help, you need communications, you need a team. So if you don't know what you're doing, you can't ask your offensive coordinator, how do I handle this? You can ask another head coach. So that was part of the thing too. I want to bond guys together so they can lean on each other and go, hey man, how would you handle this? How have you handled that?
Yeah.
And it's been fantastic. And again, we've done it for 18 years. You get some really cool relations, but also like I have a different relationship than all the other guys, always have. And
Now, who's the coolest hang of the coaches?
they're all great. It's all the shit that we say
That's
over
a
there.
political answer right there.
But the shit we say
That's
over
a
there
good insider.
is hilarious. So Sean McVay last year gets up and says to Nick Sirianni straight up, Nick, I think I can speak on behalf of all of us. We all have a problem with your in-game etiquette. And right straight to it, right? And we start laughing. And Nick's like, what are you talking about, man? I got fined $250,000 for what happened to me last year. And Sean Payton says, what are we talking about? I got fined $8 million. Fuck out of here. So the shit we say, but like Andy Reid this year is like, why do I not get invited? I said, because you don't drink. He goes, well, that's not fair to me. I said, it's a fair point. Okay. But it's such a cool fraternity that we built up over
all
there.
you got to tell is Andy, we got those chicken
He's
nuggies.
great. Yeah.
We got those chicken nuggies.
It's a really
I
cool
love
thing, man.
Andy's so cool. Remember
He's the best.
we went to the practice at Super Bowl,
Yeah,
remember?
yeah. He's the best.
That was the
man.
first time I really met him outside the game.
Really?
Yeah, and I
everybody's
fucking
favorite
he,
uncle.
like he pulled me in and poked me. You know, like he was fucking with me like a coach. He was just fucking cool.
He's everybody's favorite uncle. It's like you don't want to disappoint him.
Yeah.
He's
Now,
got a
who's
special
got
thing.
the aux cord out of the coaches? Who's playing the music?
I think it's that's a good question. No, because we're at a place, so it's their music. So every hotel. Well, by the way, Kevin O'Connell, he is our. We gave him a board position too. He's our secretary of stuff.
Secretary, he's got to get the shit.
He's got a secretary of stuff.
Because he's not in the Super Bowl club
so
yet.
he's a secretary of stuff.
So like Sirianni technically got more
But we
pull than
went to him.
KOC.
Yeah, he's good. No,
And
he's not on the
McVay's got
board.
more
He's
pull
not on the
'cause
board.
He's been to a couple.
He's not on the board, but Lynch is on the board, and he's the only GM that really comes because it's
Lynch
only
is
head
there.
coaches, right? Because he's just different. But yeah, we created a board just because this whole thing's fucking silly and stupid.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, as Tomlin says, it's like, dude, it's like we started the fraternity from old school.
Yeah.
Guys are like, he's like, I'm at pro days, and guys are like, hey, when is it? What day? Where are we going? He's like, what the fuck have we started?
Yeah.
Like we're just being us.
You're my boy. Fucking Tomlin comes and
Mike T's the coolest. Mike T.
who's the new
as
coach
cool as you
this
get.
year? This is what I think. Mike Tomlin jumps out of a van with a mask on, pulls in fucking Kellen Moore, looks at his wife and says, "You tell anyone about this, I'll fucking kill you." He says, "Oh, I'm back by 9." Throws him in the van. They run off. They're going to coach's camp. I mean, is Kellen Moore in it now? Was he
He
there?
was there. Yeah.
Now
Fucking better be there.
He's quiet, huh?
He's quiet.
He's the
He's
new
a nice
guys
guy,
are there
though.
quiet.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just
yeah.
how it goes, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. New guys are quiet. Yeah. Ben Johnson was there. Kellen was there. Who else? Like, who was there this year? that didn't show
Vrabes
up?
was Vrabes there?
Vrabes was always there.
Now how's Vrabes in the circle of coaches?
Well, it used to be hilarious because it was Vrabel, Billy O'Brien, and Doug Marone. And those guys were like, even though there's three of
Fucking
them, they're like
Ohio.
the two old guys from the Muppets, right? They were classic. It's great. It's such a great time. But Mike T's kind of he's the godfather of it all. Everybody kind of wants to be around Mike T. He's dynamic, dude. And he is, look, I've been friends with him since
What's
he was
his
a
name?
DB
George
coach.
Lucas? Not
George
who's the
Lucas.
guy from American
It looks
Hustle?
like Omar Epps.
No, he's Frank Lucas.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Frank Lucas. Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I see Coach
No doubt.
T.
Absolutely.
Like OG in the back, like
Yes.
he's kind of like pulling the strings.
No doubt. But I've been friends with that dude since he was Rondé and Lynch's DB coach when he just replaced
Monty
Herm
Kiffin.
Edwards. Right. But he replaced Herm.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, he goes in there and they're like, man, this guy will never replace Herm. We don't care who this is. It was like a weekend and they're like, oh my God, this guy's great. He's unbelievable. This guy's unbelievable. I said, oh, so you guys switched up pretty fast. But he is. And, I think nowadays too, coaching's changed, right? You come from a certain old school background, right? But I think nowadays, because everybody's so freaking hurt these days, Twitter is just ruining people. Look, grew up in the Jersey Shore. I got my ass kicked in the Jersey Shore growing up. It sucked for a month. But now we're getting our asses kicked 1,000 times a second on Twitter, And guys are just so beat up all the time. You can't beat up on these guys anymore. So I
callous
think,
to it.
I think they get beaten down so
they get
easily.
beat down,
They're so beaten down already. They need somebody to love them up. That's why Mike T works. That's why Dan Campbell works. That's why D'Amico Ryans works. That's why Sean McVay works. Like Raheem Morris. That's why these guys. I think it's changing where you used to be able to just beat guys down. I tell you, the interesting thing for me came about 8 years ago. I was coaching a fighter, and you see me how I do it. I'm like, what the fuck is right? And Randy Couture, who's my partner, all says, you can't do this with guys anymore. What do you mean? He said, you have to decide if you could change or not, but you can't tell guys what you don't want from them anymore. I said, what are you talking about? I said, Randy, this guy fucking dropping his hands. I got to tell him, don't drop your hands. He said, nope, only tell them what you want. You can only tell them, keep your hands up, or else they think they can't deal with you. You're getting on them, and they don't have it for somebody else who they look up to get down on them so much. That was an eye opener for me, and I realized the same thing in the league.
Yeah.
Dang, that's a really great
I
point.
mean, that's an evolution. The coaches that can evolve to the players are the coaches that last. Coaches that
Yeah,
stick to their way.
I think that's what happened with Belichick too.
I'm not getting down that road. I'm not going down that road. He knows why.
I'm with Jay on that one.
We don't talk about him anymore on this podcast.
This is my first time. That's
we don't
not fair.
even say
Oh,
his
this is the
name.
first episode
and
the
we
rules
just
been
started
implemented.
it. We just
Really?
started it.
He's like Voldemort.
Right now.
Yeah,
Just
we
right now.
just started it right now.
Belichick's Voldemort. You
We
can't
are
talk
not
about his name?
talking about him. This is a Mike Vrabel podcast.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's a Mike Vrabel
It's a Mike V,
podcast.
baby. In Vrabes
Okay,
we trust.
Any coaches beef in there? You see any guys give
We
me
try to fuck with guys.
silly looks?
Yeah, we try to get things going, but it's
Anyone like at one table, over there?
no. They're all the same thing. We try to. No. Never. We never had any.
That fucking holy pedal was bullshit, bro. That 4-minute offense was dog shit, man.
No.
Well, your 2-point fucking offense sucked too, dude.
Kyle Shanahan's funny as shit. He'll kind of get after guys a little bit. Just funny. Like somebody will ask him something like, "Hey, what are you guys doing here?" We're like, "What the fuck are you doing there?" It's like he'll just kind of. Kyle's funny as shit. Because Kyle's also, he's had so many of those guys with him, and he's such a ball buster. But Kyle's one of the funnest guys there. It's totally different than what the world sees.
Yeah. Now, Jay, how'd you break into sports media? Like, what did little young Jay Glazer from the Jersey Shore just want to have a microphone and were you just interviewing people on the shore? Like, hey, what'd you hear about this? I heard about this. All right, man, I'm gonna go. Hey, were you just the guy that always had the secrets?
Little Jay Glazer, the shore, was getting in a shit ton of trouble and realized he had to do something, or it was a bad road. And I left Jersey in '89, moved to New York, and and I was all fucking around. I was like boxing and bouncing and bartending, and I was doing stand-up comedy. Like I was trying anything. And then I got an internship at WFAN Radio in 1989. And that was the first all-sports radio station in America. And they gave me a gig because I was doing stand-up comedy like this guy, but I had no experience. That got me a job covering the Giants in 93. So it took me 3 years to get a job. So basically for the first 11 years of my career, dude, I made $9,450 a year. Living in New York City, horrible, because there was no NFL insiders yet, really. And I got a job covering first for New York One TV, and that paid me $450 a year. But what I did was, I walked in that Giant locker room day one, and a lot of people don't know this story. Day one, I was like, damn, how could I be different than everybody else in here? Like, this is the Mecca.
From the beat writers or
From the
what?
beat writers, from everybody. But I'm like, this is the Mecca. How could I be different? Most people are afraid to be different. Like, don't be a face in the crowd. Be the fucking crowd, right? Be your own crowd. And so I said, well, I am relentless as shit. So if these guys work 40 hours a week, I'm going to outwork them, not by a little, by a lot. I'm not working by 60 hours a week. And the truth is, Strahan and I were so close, and he felt so bad for me, and he knew I didn't have enough money to take. I used to have to go subway, bus, Giant Stadium, and back. It was only $8 a day, and I couldn't afford it. So he drove me back into New York City every single day for 6 years. So I'm like $28,000 to Lincoln Tunnel fare. But that, as a result, he was always the last one to leave. So I'd get there at 8 o'clock in the morning. I stayed till he left at 7, right? And I would talk to everybody in the parking lot. But the biggest thing I did, on top of that, I'm like, man, how could I be different? And I felt the beat writers back then were using their pen as a weapon. I said, I'm going to start relationships, which was taboo back then. I was told, no, you're not friends with players. I'm like, I got more in common with them than I do with you. And I got murdered for doing that. I became the first guy to start relationships with players, coaches, front office. I'm like, this is the way I'm going to do it. But as a result of that, they labeled me, he's not objective. And every time I try to get a job, the editor or producer, whatever, will call these guys and they go, no, he's not objective. And I would say, I don't think you guys are objective. If they don't give you a story, then you shit all over them. You use your pen as a weapon. You're not objective. What you're doing is wrong. But as a result, I couldn't get a full-time job until 1999. So, 10, 11 years in. Thank God. Thank you, my best friend, God Almighty in heaven. I finally get a job covering the NFL and the NFL Today on CBS when they got the NFL back for $50,000 a year. And I was like, oh my God. We only have a couple times in our lives that you really find out who the fuck you are. And this is one for me because I said, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be different no matter what. I'm going to outwork them it doesn't matter what I have to do. And that call that came in from my agent, I was like, man, that validated me that I was right. And then with that came I was the first minute-by-minute breaking news guy in this country. Me and a guy named Len Pasquarelli and John Clayton. I was doing it for CBSSportsLine.com. And so I became that first guy. And then where a lot of things
So you're the first insider.
Yeah. Will McDonough was, because he was doing on NBC, but minute-by-minute breaking, yeah. And because the other guys
How
had
were
like
you delivering
shows
your news back then?
on the internet. So I broke it
1999.
Yeah, 99. And man, I had but the other cool thing for me.
Were you a sidekick guy or like a BBM guy? Did you have
Beeper?
BlackBerry, you probably had a BlackBerry. You were just fucking on that thing all day.
I may have had it all. Yeah, definitely had a beeper. Definitely had it. Yeah, had a beeper back then.
Did you have a Zach
I didn't have a car. I didn't have a car phone.
Zach Morris brick
Yeah,
cell
yeah.
phone.
Strahans?
Yeah, strays. But man, it was the whole period was crazy. But the other cool thing was when free agency happened. Again, there's no internet. Somehow my name got around as, hey, this guy knows all the players. So all these dudes who were scouting assistants, who are now general managers, used to call me and say, hey, we know you know about this player. So I broke a huge story, whatever year this was, that the Jets were secretly trying to trade Keyshawn Johnson. And the way I found out is somebody from the Ravens, somebody from the Bucks called and said, hey, you don't know us, but we're looking into this. We know you know Keyshawn really well, and tell us about him and blah, blah, blah. And I was able to have the story. And nobody fucking believed it. There was like, no way. And then 3 weeks later, he was traded to the Buccaneers. But because I stuck to who I said I was going to be, I was going to start relationships. And now everything's relationship based.
How did you learn that you needed to hone the craft of starting relationships with players? Did you have someone that
It was
was
just natural for me. You know what the
natural?
truth is, man? Here's the truth. I said this a couple of years ago. You know, I talk a lot of mental health now. And I wrote a book on it 4 years ago.
What's it called?
Unbreakable. How I turn my depression, anxiety into motivation, and you can too. And one of the things I talk about in there is when my gray gets really, and I have clinical depression, anxiety, ADHD, bipolar, something called OCD, anxiety. Other than that, I'm a model of stability.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I need teammates. Like you see how I'm in our avocado. I'd fucking die for my guy. Like I need these teams. I need my fight teams. And what no one realized is that's what you all were for me. You guys were all a team for me. Like I felt this sense of belonging where you have no idea how much you players saved me over the years.
Yeah.
It was probably a daily thing. You guys saved me over the years. And that's why I'm so loyal to you guys and how much I take care of all my people so much. I've needed it more than just a job. I've needed it for my own mental health survival.
That's why it doesn't become work for you, because it's your passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much passion where he even gave me my best friend Drew bracelet.
Yeah, two of them on right there.
See, there you go. He gave that to me in the Bahamas at one of our team functions.
Yep.
Outside of Strahan, who else is one of your early guys?
I'll tell you, the way the MMA training program came about.
Yeah, because you trained a lot of guys in the offseason at Unbreakable. That's how we met.
Yeah. I started in 07.
It's not there anymore? You changed location?
No, I sold it.
Sold it.
Yeah, because I'm now in Malibu and I don't want to go.
Yeah.
That drive is ridiculous.
Well,
right?
especially now.
I passed
you
it on
can't,
to my
you can't
coaches,
even
though.
get
It's
out
cool.
of Malibu.
Right.
Get in.
But the first guy I ever trained was like a long snapper from the Chiefs and, DN. And he would.
Sounds like a Ninkovich to me.
I was training at a place called API where I had 2 fights and then Fox made me stop fighting, but I was still trying to do it and on the sly and then just apologize.
So you were going to like little Mexican fights down in like Tijuana?
I was doing shit. Oh,
like Jay Glazer's fighting some fucking dude.
I took one fight.
Hey Jay, what are you, a black eye, dude? Over at the water cooler. Oh, fucking dog. I rescued this new pit bull. It fucking got me.
I took a fight.
Jay's going back down to Mexico fighting again.
David Hill, who was the chairman of Fox back then, and Ed Gordon were like, I came in my first day at Fox. I just won this tournament and my eye was shut. My fucking foot was broken. They're like, what happened to you? And I was like, I just won the World Submission Fighting Championships. And they're like, we don't know what the fuck that is. You will never do it again. And then I had a teammate named Jamie Varner who's fighting for the lightweight championship of the world. He's fighting Benson Henderson, who's a southpaw, and so am I. So I was like training with him a bunch. And all in one day, him and a guy named Tim McKenzie knocked this tooth out. They cracked this bone and I had a gash here. It's not the orbital, it's down here, like right above your teeth.
I get pimples there every once in a while.
I wish that's what it was. And I come into Fox. I'm hosting a show with Tim Brown, Eddie George, and Jason Sehorn. And
great lineup.
Yeah, and I'm like literally.
I remember that show actually.
Right?
That was
Really
good
football preview.
Yes,
And,
underrated.
And I come in and the makeup artist is like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I'm like, "Oh, I just put some makeup on." She's like, "You're missing a tooth." And I'm like, oh, so I had to host this whole show, like everybody, Jay Glazer, Jason Sehorn, and Eddie George, and then I got a real talking to from all the bosses, like we're totally on your fight career. I'm like, really? Like you will never be on the air again.
You look like a pirate, Jay.
Yeah, nothing.
You can't come on the air looking like a goddamn pirate.
But I talked about like how much I need these relationships. and the sport kind of institutionalizes you in that way. So I'm like, I learned how to start coaching instead. So back to this guy. So I was training with him at API with a whole group. We had a fucking awesome group. And
Athletic Performance Institute. Then he went to Exos.
yes, turned in Exos. So we'd go train there twice a day. I'd go to fight practice 2 or 3 times a day. And this guy had a couple DWIs, so he couldn't drink. So he's my designated driver. And he kept coming in and he was like training with me. And man, we took 25 pounds off his frame. We really got his fucking hands going violent as shit. Help with it. We do a shit ton of leverage work for your hips. And that guy went out and got 15 sacks that year. And it was the highest paid defensive end in the history of the NFL. And it was Jared Allen.
Wow.
So that's how the whole thing fucking started. And everybody's like, and he talked about it everywhere. He's like, do whatever you did for him, do it for us. I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck we did for him, but we're going to come up with something. And me and Randy Couture and guys like Ryan Bader and Chuck Liddell, we came up with something, and we've trained, I don't know, 1,000-something pro athletes. And could we branch it out to different sports?
Not just pro athletes. I mean,
everything.
I was in there working my fucking jujitsu shit on the mat.
Oh, hell yeah.
Went over to go hit a fucking
And you
little
saw
shoulder press. You know who's right next to me? Fucking Sylvester Stallone.
right?
Sly?
Sly's
Yeah.
in
Oh, my
there.
gosh.
Sly's just jacking up like 80s. And he's probably like 75 at the time. He's like, I need like 5 more than my age.
You know what we sold in there?
Legend.
We did a good job. You got and remember I did a little hand fighting with you also,
Yeah,
right? And
for
Amendola
relievers.
trained with us for a while,
Yeah.
right? So basically, what we try and teach guys, we do a bunch of, we try and give you a fucking fighter's mentality, which is just it's more of this relentless, fucked up attitude. You're like, if you turn football into a fight, most guys sign up to play a sport. They don't sign up. Like I saw you playing DB, and you're just fucking giving Bolden the business and everything. Like you turn it into a fight. Most guys don't want to deal with that shit, right? So you turn it into a fight, number one. So that's your fucking head and your heart, and in your hands. So instead of like slapping, everything is like hammer fist. And if you just attack these nerves, most of the game. You know,
Yeah,
guys
I
get
do
tough
remember
up,
that.
right?
Fucking
Right?
Jay
Right?
would over here fucking hammer me. I'm like, Jay, I can't feel my arm right
That's
now.
the whole fucking point. So if you do that all game long, we
Felt
created
like
that with Clay Matthews.
Van Damme in fucking Bloodsport.
Damn right.
Except I had instead of a little Asian dude, I got a little Jewish dude over here slapping my arms and shit.
And then we work on your hips too, because leverage is everything.
Leverage.
Right?
That was the thing. It was a lot of hip mobility
Yeah, a lot of
stuff
hip
on
mobility,
that
yep.
mat. There was like a dynamic thing that we would all do for our hips, because that's huge, especially for football players. We're like dragsters. You know, you get so wound up tight for explosion, 6 seconds of just pure like go 100 miles an hour. Sometimes that tightens you up. And so a lot of guys have to work on their hip mobility, which is huge. And that's what fighters have. They have really great hip mobility.
I think everybody talks about strengthening their core, but when you get stronger, you get tighter.
Yeah.
So you got to reverse it also and get looser. The looser you are, the more explosive you're going to be.
Yeah.
But also, like, look what we create in there. You're talking about Sly and all this.
Jared Allen, he's a fucking
locker room.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer this year.
Yeah,
But we
fucking
created
Jared
a
Allen.
fucking
Let's
locker
go.
room. It's funnest locker room, dude.
He's a beast. I loved him.
He is. He's great.
Remember the
rope celebration?
Yeah, he was take a rabbit out of the hat.
The second guy we ever trained was Patrick Willis. And
Another dog.
And Pat, I told everyone at this gym, we're at Extreme Couture in Vegas. I'm like, guys, no one touch the football players. You don't kick them, you don't touch, you don't punch them.
Everyone
nothing.
does want to touch you. They want to.
Yes.
They want to feel you up.
I'm like, I don't care how much he asks. You're not doing it, right? And I had a friend named Jay Haran, who I think he stayed with him also because Jay is a nasty fucking bastard. And I wanted also got football players to kind of get this. And next thing I know, I get a call to like, hey man, Patrick got the shit kicked out of him today. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, everybody sparred him. I'm like, what do you mean everybody sparred him? The fuck do you mean everybody sparred him? He got the dog shit kicked out of him by this little guy, Gray Maynard and Tyson Griffin. I think Jay said, guys, did I not fucking say you're not touching the football players?
Can't
Like,
touch football players.
well, he asked. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if he asks. But but here's the mastery of doing this though.
One of Jay Glazer's 15 phones is going to get a ring from an owner. Say, hey, you got my $30 million investment getting his ass whooped by
No doubt.
one of your fucking fighters.
The mastery of it though, dude, and you'll appreciate this, is I would try and teach football players the fighter mentality, wrestlers grind really, right? Which is, man, just relentless. And the amount of work you put in when no one's watching is what makes that wrestlers great. But at the same time, I would have you guys teach fighters sport IQ. They don't know how to watch film. They don't know how to look for tendencies
Or
the way you
explosion.
guys do. Yeah, absolutely. And
More like training.
but also you could see stuff.
It's different training because if they implicated a lot of our like explosive training.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like fighters don't do that as much. They do
They
like
do now,
plyometric.
but
They
not
do
back
now.
then. Yeah,
Not
back then.
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
But you guys see stuff, and I was like, hey, let's watch film. And I don't know how to watch film. I used to sit there with Stray all the time, and he'd show me little things like Twitch here, and I'm like, how do you see that? I don't know how you guys see that. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but
you got to be smart as shit playing the NFL. And even if you guys could teach these guys 1/10 of how to do it, then it's a win for our fighters.
Yeah, it was winning community over there at Unbreakable.
It's fun.
Right above the Pink Taco.
Yep, it was a fun place. Man.
Was Sunset?
Yep.
Sunset right by the Chateau.
Yeah, it was fun.
Right by
We had a
Chateau.
big group in there. It was fun.
We always had a great group. You get all
We had
your.
Stallone box and Demi Lovato one day in there, right?
What's
Remember
the
that?
craziest story out of that place?
That one, like he comes in and he goes, hey, I got an idea. You think, how about I box Demi? And she knocks me down and I call it the unthinkable and unbreakable. What do you think? I'm like, yeah, dude, you're Rocky. Fuck yeah. And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. So she's like, and he goes, and would it be okay if we post this? I'm like, yeah, dude, you're Rambo. Fuck yes.
So is
And we
Sly
become really close as a
is
result.
Sly just always like he just always wants to do? He's
always creating.
He's creating.
Yeah.
He's an artist and stuff,
Yeah.
and like I could just see him always like
Oh,
to his daughters and stuff. You want to do a video? Like you know what I mean? Like he just he seems like he's always doing something. He seems like a great dude.
he is the best. So he one time he calls. I don't know if you've ever seen this. Do you ever hear about the time I brought Guy Fieri to his house to cook?
Yeah.
Right?
Legendary.
Yeah. It was unbelievable.
that on- yeah.
So right, oh, there's him and Demi. But he one day he goes, hey, I just got this $25,000 grill. I'm going to bring these grill masters over and teach me how to use it. I go, why are you hiring a grill master? Let's bring Guy Fieri. He goes, really? You think you do that? I'm like, yeah, bro, you're Rocky. And like a month later, he's like, any chance your friend Guy in town? And I said, yeah, what's going on? He goes, well, you want to come watch the fight tomorrow? It's Ruiz, Joshua, too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. He goes, okay, well, Guy's in town? I said, yeah. He goes, all right, here's the deal. My daughters don't give a fuck about Rocky or Rambo or the Expendables. They love diners, drive-ins, and dives. Yeah. If you can bring him to my house, dude, I'll be a hero. So I said, all right, let me call him. So I call him up and I said, hey, dude, tell me you love me. He goes, why do I love you? And I said, dude, Stallone wants to know if you want to come over and watch a fight tomorrow because his daughters they love you. And he goes, I'm supposed to go home. Let me call Lori, my wife, and make sure it's okay. So he calls Lori and Lori goes, let me get this straight. Stallone is asking if
gotta let him go.
want to go to a boxing match at Rocky's house. And you're asking me for permit. Like, you're an idiot if you don't go. So Guy calls back and says, all right,
Cowabunga, I'm in.
he goes, find out from Stallone how
Out
many
of this
people are going to
world.
be. And he goes, how many people are going to be there? I'm going to get the Food Network to give me food, and I'm going to cook there. I'm going to make his daughters my sous chefs.
Yeah.
I'm like, great. So I call Stallone. I go, tell me you love me. He goes, why do I love you? I said, dude, fucking Guy is coming, and he wants to know how many people are coming, and he's going to, cook and make your daughters sous chefs. Me, you're going to be a star. And he goes, no, you don't have to do that. I'm getting cold cuts. So, bro, we're not getting fucking
Italian.
cold cuts. Yeah, but like,
Get some
he
salami.
literally said, we're getting
some
cold cuts.
mortadella,
We're not getting fucking cold cuts.
little prosciutto,
Are you shitting me? This is not
This fucking-
1982.
this is Italian
right, in
stallions.
Alvin, New Jersey.
little mozzarella.
So I literally said,
Cold cuts out.
I said, dude, tell me who's coming. So he knows. He goes, all right, who are you bringing? I said, I'm going to bring Strahan. He goes, okay. So me, you, Strahan, Pacino, Schwarzenegger, Sugar Ray Leonard, David Blaine. I said, the fuck out of here. He goes, what? He's your friend. These are my friends. What's just happened? And man, we broke the internet that day.
David
It was
Blaine do
unbelievable.
any magic
he came
tricks?
and did magic. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
It's all over the internet. It's fucking unbelievable.
That's a great day.
It
That's
was
a great way to
it
watch
was
an event.
Unbelievable. Yeah. We broke the internet that day. It was
How
pretty
cool's
fucking
Guy?
He's the best.
Yeah, he's
Right,
awesome.
Nick? He's the best, man. He is I just did one of his episodes on a place in Melrose, which is fucking great. I don't know what's coming out, but I love that dude.
Yeah,
Love him. Yeah, I love him.
He's a hustler, too.
loyal
The
friend,
guy
dude.
works.
Yeah.
And
is
you
loyal
can go
as shit.
anywhere. You can go anywhere in the country, in the United States. Everyone knows Guy Fieri.
Of course.
And loves him too.
and loves him.
He's
Man.
the guy too, though.
You can go to North Dakota, Miami,
Anywhere. Yeah.
fucking Albuquerque. You can go to West Texas. You go Pennsylvania. You can go to Wyoming.
You're gonna keep
Arkansas?
listing names.
Arkansas?
Arkansas, they love Fieri.
Okay.
Would you agree? Right, you know Guy well. You type of guy, you could be anywhere in the world and you got in trouble, you're like, dude, I need help. He'll
Yeah.
drop everything.
Guy would.
Drop everything, right?
Guys,
Yeah. He's a G.
Now, lastly, before we jump into this game, I want the last question about Unbreakable. Who is the biggest dog to ever come out of there?
Like every MMA champ's been in there. So they're all
Who's
dogs.
the doggiest of
John
the dog?
Jones. He hasn't been in there. Has John? No, I don't think he has. But John's the best I've ever seen. It's not even close. Ever been around. He also
Bones Jones?
Oh fuck yeah! It's not even close.
Bones is nuts.
He's so different, man. He is. It's so hard to train for him. I've been around a lot of guys and worked with some guys to help when they were fighting him. I remember Chael Sonnen. We did a lot together. He did like half camp with me, half camp with his team, and I'm like, one of the drills I was putting Chael through was Chael on his back for 5-minute rounds and me on side control and a couple of others, and he has to push and
Is
get
that
out.
that choke move right there? We're choking him?
No, he's like, oh, just on top.
Yeah.
Right, and so Chael goes in his back and he's like, why are we doing this? I said, because he's going to take you down. He's like, no one takes me down. I'm like, bro, he's going to take you down. He's like, Jay, nobody takes me down. I'm like, Chael, he's going to fucking take you down. So we're going to do this. And we started doing this drill and I get on top and Chael has no idea how to get out because no one fucking took him down. I'm like, dude, you got to push up my face and get out. And so we did that over and over and over. And he got taken down about 5 times in the first round.
Yeah.
Right. John is just fucking different, dude.
I just had an epiphany.
Oh, Kyle Long.
He's a monster.
Hey,
Kyle Long.
we love Kyle.
I have an
Long,
epiphany
friend of the
about
show.
you, Jay. We need to get you in the next season of Cobra Kai.
Hell
You
yeah.
are
Hell yeah.
give me Cobra
Hell
Kai.
yeah.
We trained one of the girls in that, Raina. She's
You
awesome.
need to get in there, and you need to be like one of the characters.
I love
just
it.
saw that little choke right there.
Casting Agent Jules, I like this.
Let's
I
get
like
it.
it.
Let's
I
get
like
it going.
Wow, I like it.
Summer is almost here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats. What do I mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no, but a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, no, but a box fan? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No, but a box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Let's do a segment where we go back into time around where the game took place and talk about pop culture. This game took place February 3rd, 2008. The #1 movie was Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus, Best of Both Worlds concert.
That was the #1 movie?
#1 song was Low by Flo Rida and T-Pain. My daughter is doing that in a talent show.
Really?
Wow.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, that song is still popular.
How random
with
is
the
that?
kids.
then?
They love that song still. Still
T-Pain
popping
sounds
on
got
like
legs,
a
baby.
Renaissance. Yeah.
Pop culture Blu-ray won the format wars as Toshiba announced the end of production of the HD DVD. Man, I remember that.
It's that PS3. They had the Blu-ray player built in. Remember that?
Yeah, the PS3, is that why?
Yeah, that was part of the reason for their victory.
GTA 4 was released. Is this the first time where it wasn't Bird's Eye View?
No, this was
The second one. Is this
second
Vice
one,
City?
Yeah.
NFL champion, Giants, MVP, Tom Brady.
You know
Big
what?
year.
It's good to see because nothing really good happens to that guy.
Yeah, old Tom. He just went on and won like 5 more after this. Literally. This is
Four more.
That's nuts. NC2A champion LSU. I think Ridley was on that team.
I believe so.
Heisman Tim Tebow. NBA moved Shaq from Miami. He became the big heat
big
to the
cactus.
big cactus.
The big cactus,
Why
baby.
do I not remember him playing for Phoenix?
This was late era, like 36-year-old Shaq. That was when it was
Bouncing
like
around a lot.
Cleveland,
I remember obviously Miami.
Celtics. Yeah.
They were the Celtics back too.
Celtics.
He did?
Yeah.
Yeah, he spanned like the whole rainbow in terms of
I
jersey
love
color.
Shaq, dude. I love that cat.
He's
Art
the
Monk,
man.
Andre Tippett, and Fred Dean all inducted to the Football Hall of Fame.
Some legends
Andre
right there.
Tippett, black belt,
Yes,
fucking.
yes. So you're talking about that hand
Yeah.
fighting. His hands were great.
Andre Tippett's a
Yeah,
bad man.
no
He was
doubt.
always around the facility too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he still works for like the Patriots in some sort of capacity. Don't
Yeah.
ask questions.
Right,
I
yeah.
don't know. But all I know is anytime he walks by,
Guys like that are
I
valuable.
straighten up.
Yep.
What's up, Mr. Tip? That's
He's
what I call him.
Jewish.
I call him Mr. Tip.
Jewish, right?
Yeah, he's Jewish.
Yeah, I knew
Converted.
that. I do. I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me. We're getting killed in the marketing department these days. I'll take anybody I can get.
Hey, we definitely need him.
Yes, we need him.
I mean, he's black belt.
Yes.
And Brock Lesnar.
The three of us need to
loses.
go around. Me, you, and Andre Tippett. We need to go to like places where they're having some trouble and just Jump in a little bit.
I like that.
we need representation on the other side
Because
as
there's
well.
no-
We need a panel of
It's like,
all.
Yeah.
It's like an A-team type
With the
vibe.
A-team with the
But like
J
J-team,
team.
we just-
the
right.
J-team.
We just come by and lay a lot of guilt on you.
Ivan Fear's in there.
What are we
We,
driving?
we got some drive-by audits.
Exactly.
Handing out bagels.
Brock Lesnar makes his
was
UFC
there.
debut and loses to Frank Mir.
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
in the building for that, Jay?
Yeah, I was there. I was
Wow.
there. Was that UFC 100? I was there with my baby sister.
Jay, can you take us through how do you breaking news? How do you do it?
So,
What's the process?
all right.
That was
You need
UFC
a beat
100.
for beat.
Okay, so the jobs changed. So back in the day, it was you're right. I had a million cell phones. By the way, I did have one cell phone. I was a spokesperson for one of the cell phone carriers, and I had them give me a burner. I didn't know what a burner was back then, but a burner, because I was convinced that the Patriots, of all teams, were tracking my phones. Because I broke a shit ton of Patriot stuff.
Right.
I'm dead serious. No, that was my fear.
I know.
So
but
I had this,
I mean,
but
Bill was
then-
in everyone's head.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone
mine
thinks of
too.
this
So,
guy.
yeah. So back then it was, you get it, you break it as fast as you can, and then you get it out as many places, you tweeted it. And originally, early on, I would pick a big fight with ESPN because they kept stealing shit. It was like,
Who's
sources
stealing it?
say, all of them. They would say, sources say this and this and this.
Like specifically.
I'm a lone wolf. It's just me versus them. And it started me versus two guys at ESPN, then 3, then 4, then 10, then 20, then 30, then 40, then NFL Network, and 10 and 20. And I was just always just me versus them. So I figured, man, I'm going to pick a fight with ESPN every time they steal my shit. And I just thought it was a good fight, David versus Goliath. And I just wanted everybody to kind of walk this walk with me.
Yeah.
And originally our guy Bill Richards would get mad at Fox, like, just be above them. Don't punch down. I'm like, no, fuck them. So I'll never forget, there's 2 specific tweets I put out that changed a lot of things. One was, hey, ESPN, the last time I checked, my last name was not spelled Sources. And if it is, Mom and I need to have a fucking talk because she's lived a double life or some shit like that, right? And so that kind of blew everything up. Oh my gosh. I said, yeah, they're always, and then I said, three things you could always count on in life is death, taxes, and ESPN stealing your shit. And then one time, Stray and I are in Mexico, wasn't the Usher trip. And
So many trips.
Sean Payton calls, we travel a lot. Sean Payton calls, I think when he was suspended, and he got a new deal with the Saints. Well, Stray and I, a lot of talks obviously around me and Stray, it sounds, with us and tequila. But this time we weren't drinking water and we were shit-faced. And he's like, hey, I got this scoop for you. I just signed a new deal. Because everybody thought he was going to the Cowboys,
Yeah.
right? That he was going to come out with suspension, go to the Cowboys. We just re-upped. Have it whenever you want. I said, well, we're pretty fucking shit-faced right now. I need to sober up. Because back then when you'd break a story,
Calls.
you break it there, but then I'd have to go on Fox Sports Radio. I think at the time I was also working for NFL Network. I'd have to do something there, so I couldn't be hammered. So I waited like a couple hours, and Sean's like, yeah, whenever you want to do it, you do it. I said, I'll let you know. We tried to sober up, and I finally broke it. And sure enough, 12 seconds later, ESPN, oh, they've learned. And I'm like, this is bullshit. Well, whoever was, and that one pissed me off because I was also hammered, so I got a little angrier. And whoever the person at desk at ESPN was said something like, no, we could use him as a source if he has already put it out there. I'm like, no, you can't. I don't fucking work for you. And that actually got ESPN to change how they credited reporters. But the point was, I never really gave a fuck. I just thought it was a really good brand. I wanted to build this, me versus them. But the truth and how I do it too is I do need 3 sources before I report something, unless it's direct. Like that one with Sean Payton. And it was him and Mickey Loomis together. I'm like, there's no doubt this is happening,
3.
right? But I need 3. And the reason why I do 3,
If it's 3, let it be. If it's Harry, it's a berry.
it's exactly what it was.
Poison ivy.
Poison oak.
The reason why is because let's say I hear something and I tell you and it's wrong, okay?
Yeah.
And the 2 of us tell this person, right? And we're like, whoa, I got double confirmation. But I told you, you told him because you got bad info from me. So I always need a third that's completely independent. I think, right? And I've probably lost out on, I don't know, thousands of scoops by waiting. I'm extremely conservative like that. Whenever the new guys come on, and they've all been new, right? Everybody's been after me besides Morton and Peter King and Clayton. I always tell guys, number 1, make sure your shit is correct. accurate.
Yeah.
And nowadays, no one cares. They just want it first.
Yeah.
And back then, it was who could tweet the fastest. And then I also tell guys, just let other guys have credit. You don't need to confirm anything. Like, I'll never, ever confirm. You'll never see, oh, I am confirmed that Adam Schefter reported this. I don't need to confirm it. He's already done it. I think it's bullshit. So just let somebody else have their, like, everybody needs to feed their families. Let everybody have it. But there's so much pressure on all these guys in breaking the minute by minute. Man, they all do it and they'll get stuff wrong. And I remember Schefter's first day at ESPN, I had broken that Brett Favre was going to come out of retirement and play for the Minnesota Vikings. Bam, out of left field. I know Brett's agent told Adam it wasn't true. And Adam's first day, he's like going on, no, it's not. I said, Adam, dude, I actually hit him up like, dude, it's your first day. Don't let your office push you.
And what's he say to you?
Way.
He says, nah,
He's
I got it, Jay.
But it was the pressure.
See,
it was the pressure.
The pressure.
Yeah, but
you know what you've confirmed out of this conversation? That you and Schefter are definitely not on a group chat anymore.
No, we're good.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Rappaport
He works
in
his
there
ass
too?
off. No, not really.
No rap.
No, but Schefter and I also, when no one knew, Mort and I were really close. And actually, I saved the message here. When Mort was when he was in the hospital, when he kind of came to, he sent me the greatest message about, he's like, man, I saved every profanity-laced F-bomb message you left, because I would be like, hey, motherfucker, you better not die. Okay, we got more of this shit to handle. Let's go. But I would call him because it's lonely. Yeah. Really lonely. And they're, getting chemo and radiation. But I would always, and he was like, I can't tell you how much this meant to me. I can't. And yeah, that one was hard. But so I would act like I hated these guys. But for 15 years, every week I would call Schefter and Mort the first week of the season and say, hey man, all our dreams have come true. Like, again, I was making $9,400 a year. This is beyond our wildest dreams. Let's have a good year. Let's play fair, boys. Right? Let's do it the fucking right way.
Setting the rules.
Right? But it was like, no one knew that. So there was this camaraderie. And Adam and I were more bonded now because of Mort. Mort was great, man. I loved him. I really did. I fuck with him a lot. But again, all our dreams have come true. It's great. And that's what I'm saying. You could share this stuff. But also what I've tried to do with the role now, Jules, I'm not doing that, because now it's whoever tweets the fastest. And what they do also, I told someone last year, I broke the Keenan Allen getting traded to the Bears. I told the guys who told me, I said, hey, watch. I said, no, anybody else know? No. I said, okay, I'm going to put it out in about 5 minutes. Watch the rest of my competitor, what they do and how they handle this and what they do. And a lot of guys will tweet for a second and go, Keenan Allen traded, as Jay Glazer said. And then 2 seconds later, Keenan Allen traded for this, and then that gets retweeted and posted. And NFL does it with Rappaport all the time. ESPN will do it with Schefter. But it's like, just let people have it. But these guys call, they're like, holy fuck, your business is dirty. I said, I know, I told you. But it's not worth it for me anymore to break a story when it's stolen in 2 seconds. What's better for me now is to be a true insider. Yeah. On Sundays, I come on, and I will have shit that nobody knows. Or you'll hear stuff. It could be what everyone's covering, but a side that nobody else will know. And the cool thing is, when I come on after everybody else, right? The other insiders already had their hits beforehand. So there's no way they can act like, oh, we do this 2 seconds later. But they do it a lot. But for me, no matter what, my job is to make sure people, every single show, you tune in our show, they will hear something they have not heard, had no idea. That's an insider. And that's what I'm trying to do now, where to make Fox NFL Sunday or make your show, has to be must-see TV. Like, we've got to hear what this guy's going to say. And every week,
and you deliver.
Come up, right? I deliver.
And you deliver.
It's really cool in this day and age where all of your news is from Twitter to actually like catch it from you live.
Right.
It's still like, wow, okay, this is the first time I'm hearing it, you're saying it, and then you see Twitter follow up with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's really cool. And but that's the stress of the job too. I'll get stuff on a Tuesday.
And you have to hold it.
And what is this?
Now,
this is
this is our last question before we get in the game. What's the proudest?
2012.
What's the proudest thing you've broke?
Oh, Spygate. Time to changed my life.
Spygate.
Have you heard of that?
No, I was at Kent State.
How did that go down?
Belichick called. He's like, hey, man, I got something for you. No, I'm just fucking with you guys.
I was like, whoa, what? My head almost exploded.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, who?
Beep. That was my second week in Fox. I got hired in 04, but I wasn't in studio at first. I do my hits, and I was a sideline reporter, so I do my hits from a field. And David Hill's like, this insider stuff, it's valuable. We're going to bring you in studio. And the week before, I only had one segment was long. So it was like, now I have like 3. All the time was condensed in one. And then he said, I want to spread you out. And all of a sudden, man, you'll appreciate this because I was actually going through a really hard time personally in my life, going through divorce, and no one like the guys at Fox, they didn't want me in there. Like they've been together now. This is my 22nd year. They've been together for 10 years at that point, right? They didn't want me in there or whatever it was. They didn't want me in there. And all of a sudden I get the Spygate video. I'm trying to think
How'd
how
you
to
get
say
the
this.
Spygate video?
You're a cute kid. I can't tell you that. But all of a sudden I get this. And I got it though. I think it was either Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur. I think it was Rosh Hashanah. It's the only 2 days I turned my phone off. The only 2 days I turned my phone off. And
So you got it on the day you turned your phone off?
yes, but I knew it was there.
How did you
But
know
I
it was
couldn't
there?
see it because the person
terrible
told me the
practicing
day,
Jew. You should not be
no,
thinking
the
about
day
work during Yom
before.
Kippur or Rosh Hashanah.
The person told me the day before, I'm going to get this, Jim, try and get this. So
So are you
I knew it was
fasting
there.
this
Yeah.
Yom Kippur
So
and
I
you're
don't
fucking sitting
remember
here
if it was
thinking
Rosh
about
Hashanah or Yom Kippur,
Spygate?
but I'm in temple thinking about Spygate. Like, so if I'm already asking forgiveness, there's more, right? And I'm like, oh my God. So it was like, it was a really hard, high holiday. And finally, sun goes down, turn on the TV. And at first, when you watch it, it's all tits and ass. Like this little creepers, they're zeroing in on these girls in the crowd and tits and ass. And the Jets had like the Jet City Dancers or something, and he's zeroing in on them. I'm like, oh man, I got duped. Fuck. Man, I thought I was going to get some love from these guys. And all of a sudden, Tom steps in, and I was like, oh, okay, they're warming up. Brady's throwing, and all of a sudden, boom. Ted Cottrell, who's the defense coordinator of the Jets at the time, I believe, he's out there doing the signs. It's that, and then down in distance, and, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. So I go to Fox, and I tell them what I have. And Fox immediately says, did you steal it? I said, did I steal it? This guy, Larry Jones, who used to be at Fox, said, did I steal it?
This is an establishment. You got to know.
Did I steal it? I said, I live in Arizona. How am I going to get to New York like, no. But they were like, oh my God. And I said, listen, this is what you hired me for. You hired me for Grand Slams. But they were like, oh my gosh, what's this going to do? Mr. Obviously, Kraft is really powerful, and Roger and I said, this is what I do. If you guys don't want it, fine. I'm going to put it somewhere else. But I really hope you will. Well, I don't hear from Fox for the rest of the week. And I show up to our green room, our avocado room, Sunday morning. And Scott Ackerson, who was the producer at the time, before Bill Richards, he says, guys, listen, normally, last week Jay had one segment, he normally does.
High tension
Now-
pre-production meeting.
Now we're going to have 3 for the most part, but instead today Jay's going to have 4. And they go, what? And Howie gets up out of his seat. And again, they do not want me there. And Howie, who's now my fucking brother, they all are, obviously. And he's like, and Scott goes, before you say anything, he got the Spygate video. And they're like, what? He has the video. And I remember the NFL said they destroyed them all. Okay? So all of a sudden, Jules, you're sitting let's say you're sitting where I am, okay? I'm sitting here, Howie's sitting here, Terry's sitting there, Jimmy's sitting over there. Howie gets up out of his seat, doesn't even look at me, and says, you're telling me this kid has the video. This kid, Howie's an intimidating dude, right? And he's like, yes. He goes, the actual video. Yes. You're telling me. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. And Jimmy looks at me and goes, you really got the video? I said, yeah. And Terry leans over and says, the actual video. I said, yes, sir. And he goes, he's okay with me. Like, oh, thank you, God.
Did you show him the video?
And oh yeah, and then
Now, what are the guys saying when they see the video?
they're like,
is Howie like, oh my
yes,
God, how
they're
the
like,
fuck did you get
yes,
this?
they all are. And then I have to call the commissioner and tell him what I'm going to have. So I call him up, and I said, I'm about to, drop something, but I need to talk to you beforehand. And he hits me up, and I said, hey, dude, I'm just letting you know, I got the Spygate video. He says, you can't. We destroyed them all. I said, that's what you thought. And he said, you have the actual video? I said, I got the video, and I'm airing it. And I just want to let you know beforehand. And he said, credit to him, he goes, good for you, that's huge. That's going to change your career. Like, wow.
Goodell said that to you?
And he's like, fuck, fair. And I said, Roger, I'm asking you not to conduct an investigation because I'm going to leave so many breadcrumbs to the wrong people to protect who gave this to me. And he said, Jay, how? Like, I have to. I said, right. He said, your guy has to know that an investigation was coming. I said, who said it was a guy? And I led so many breadcrumbs, but it was so, the story then became not Spygate, but how did this young kid get, basically, these are Bruder tapes, the biggest story in the history of pro sports, get his hands on it. And at the time, ready for this? It was so crazy. My sources were then having like wives call me saying, do not call such and such on his cell because we think they're getting tapped. Go to this payphone with this number at 3:45. He'll answer the call or she'll answer the call, whatever it is. Or go to this hotel. You're going to call this number.
They'll
unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Right? It was unbelievable. And then
This guy's fucking
then
Like Sopranos.
Congress called.
casino over here.
Congress called?
Ace
Arlen
Rock.
Specter.
So Senator Arlen Specter, who did the
Pennsylvania?
Kennedy assassination.
who?
Senator Arlen, no, Congress. Senator Arlen Specter who did the Kennedy assassination. He calls, and he wants my copy of Spygate. And I'm on a beach in Kiowa Island, South Carolina.
We got a
and
war
my
going
dad's
on or
over here.
something. We're over here
Yeah.
talking about
Hey, dude,
tiddlywinks.
exactly.
Shout out to you, baby.
So this dude
We're
calls.
over here we got like homeless people. We got people that are
Thank you.
starving. We got fucking markets crashing. I believe at that time we were at a war,
Thank you.
and we want to go talk about
Insane.
sport.
Jules, that's where you and I say the same.
Insane.
So he calls me up and he says, somebody say, please hold for Senator Arlen
This
Specter.
sounds
I'm
like what do they call it? Oh, not a witch trial.
Witch hunt?
Witch hunt.
Witch hunt. This is
Waste
a
of
witch
time.
hunt.
He said, Jay, if you give me your copy of Spygate, I'll give you the biggest scoop you ever had. And I said, Senator Specter, respectfully, first of all, and I said, I don't think our tax dollars should go to this. We're just sports. We're escapism. That is it. Right? I don't think this is, and my dad's like, shut the fuck up. He's talking to Arlen Specter. I'm like,
He knows
so,
who killed JFK.
Have you seen Enemy of the State? You're like
Yeah,
Will
yeah,
Smith,
exactly,
dog.
right? Yeah.
You're about to be Will Smith.
So he says,
They're gonna come
and I
get you.
said, he goes, Jay, I have something much bigger. I said, Senator Specter, respectfully, I just hit a home run in the bottom of the ninth against the Yankees to win the World Series. There's nothing you could possibly give me that's bigger. He said, okay, Jay, if you're telling me you're not going to give this, and I don't want to have to go this right, I may have to threaten you with charges and jail time for obstruction of justice. And I said, sorry, what do I care? All I do is fight and lift anyway. My dad was like, shut the fuck up. And somehow it got
Who
out
would
to
you
USA
lock up
Today.
with in prison with?
No.
Is there like some Israeli mob dudes
Yeah,
up in there?
I would hope so. Well, this is white collar, so all right. And it was somewhere I remember it was in USA Today. It was a quote of me saying it. And David Hill and a guy named George Greenberg back then came to me like, okay, we're now telling you to shut the fuck up. Dude, I said, no, I'm trying to show Congress that I'm off. They're like, you're trying to show Congress that you're off. I said, yeah. They're like, think of what you're saying. I said, look, it's working for you right now. But that was literally my,
What does off mean?
like, I'm fucking crazy.
Oh, you're
I was like,
crazy.
yeah,
Okay,
it's like,
gotcha.
don't even deal with this guy. It's literally what I was trying to do. But man, it was, and then I got a bunch of awards for it and all that, but that really changed my life. And after that, me and the guys from Fox are like, okay.
You weren't in on
guys.
Deflategate too, were you?
Yeah, I had
You had the fucking ball, huh?
balls.
The Colts ones?
I had the
Colts ones
report.
too?
Did you have the Colts
When,
ones as well? Did we forget that one?
What I have?
You were at the eight.
No, you guys were flying in from the Super Bowl, and I reported that the NFL has video of the two locker room attendants of taking 30 balls, whatever it was, into a bathroom for it. So I reported that as you guys were flying in, and guys were all pissed off at me, thinking I timed it on purpose for when you were flying in. But
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
but
just
that's the stupidest shit ever.
another
'cause you're
mountain
not
we had to
waiting.
overcome.
You're not waiting
Just another mountain for us
for
to
that.
overcome.
Yeah. But
Try
you
to
guys
get the
landed,
media involved,
and
all
everybody
the
was killing
league.
me, and I had all these fans
Distractions.
grab me down at the Super Bowl thinking I did that on
Can't
purpose.
fucking distract dogs.
You also can't touch me.
Wait, what do you mean?
Fucking fans were like, grabbed me, they were pissed off.
gosh.
And they were like, hey, and I just, yeah, you can't do that. And they're like, you fucking did this on purpose. You did. And it actually couldn't have come at a worse time of when I broke that story. I was actually with a girl. And this came in. It was the first time being with her. I was like, oh, I got to go. You know about the whole Deflategate? She's like, no, but I know about deflating.
Hey, now.
Could have been worse. So I remember I was getting killed on one of your stations up there in Boston.
Sports Hub,
and I said, hey, I want to
Right,
stop off and
shout
do
out.
this show. I said, guys, let me show you what I was about to do when I got that third confirmation. And I showed these guys a picture of a young lady, and they said, I said, you think I want to step away from this and go fucking break a story? They're like, no, you think I waited on purpose then to break it then? They're like, oh, absolutely not. I said, right, please tell everybody what you saw. They're like, well, we can't, but we believe you. I said, I'm not waiting. I don't do shit like that.
Man, so thanks,
I've
Jay.
had a lot of big ones. Hey, I had Barrett Robbins. Remember he left the Raiders, went AWOL down to Tijuana?
The Raiders.
Yep.
That was
I remember
I
that.
broke that one.
The Super Bowl, he
Yep.
left.
I broke all the Balco stuff. I broke the end of the lockout. I broke every Favre thing. I broke the story about Moss getting traded. Right, it was. So remember, he didn't play. I think it was against Dolphins, really, because the trade was done before the game.
Yeah.
But I was told you got to wait so we could tell him. So that was a painful day. And then they couldn't find Randy to tell him. So I had to wait and wait and wait. I think I knew for 24 hours before I broke it, and finally did. And it just all hell broke loose.
Are you just like constantly scrolling and making sure no one breaks it before you
Yeah.
when that happens? It's just
Yeah, it's
anxiety
horrible.
all day.
You got a team? You got it's just you.
No way, just me.
It's a one-man shop.
Yeah.
One-stop shop over here. Jay Glazer, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'll
Lone
work
wolf.
you out. He'll work
Yeah.
on your jiu-jitsu. He'll break you a story.
Then
and I'll give you a
then I'll build
friendship
you up from the
bracelet.
inside out. We'll help your mental health after. Yeah,
Where's the tape now, Jay?
I
Where's
got
the
it.
tape now?
I got it. I actually
still
told
got
him,
that
I told,
footage?
Oh, yeah. I used to play
Here,
at
let me
parties.
see it real quick. Let
I
me
used
see
to,
it.
I used
Let me
to
see
play
your
at
phone.
parties all the time. I like
Here.
to continuously.
Really?
Yeah, I have my house in Arizona at parties all the time.
You have
I used to show it all the
Spygate
time.
parties.
No, just parties, but I would have it.
Spygate-themed
Yeah, yeah,
parties.
Show up dressed as Eric Mangini.
Not theme. It was just yeah.
So Spygate was already like there was issues with the NFL with the Patriots for Spygate, so that was already story was already happening, and you had the tape.
It was broken that
It was already
this
like-
was an investigation,
and then you got the tape.
But the NFL said,
Got you.
We destroyed all the tapes. We wanted to stop here. And
Now, where do they
didn't.
destroy
That was
the
always
tapes?
weird. They said at the facility, right? At Foxborough? Yeah.
I think
Now,
so.
what do they break them and then burn them?
And that Apple thing, they think they showed it, right? The thing on Apple
I didn't
Dynasty,
watch
they
that.
showed it.
We didn't
watch
watch
it.
that.
I
We lived that. We didn't watch
Yeah.
that.
It's good fucking TV.
Jackie, jump into these 2007 Patriots that
Let's
went
rip
undefeated.
through these guys. 16-0, perfection
Man,
is in
Yay.
sight,
Stephen Neal
baby.
was bad, man.
That was this season.
Izzo.
A legendary offense.
Dude, look at that. Look at those linebackers. Junior,
Unreal.
Delius, Vrabel, Izzo, Colvin,
Junior?
Kurski, like unbelievable.
Oh my God, unbelievable.
I mean that everywhere.
A great defense,
Look
an
at that.
offense that was legendary, still is. Averaged almost 37 a game. Record-setting Tom Brady threw for 50 touchdowns, 1 MVP. Randy Moss caught 23 tutties, set an NFL record. Picked up he and Wes Welker in the offseason. That was massive. They'll spread you out. Just an insane offense. Really innovated what we know as the modern NFL offense, wouldn't you say, Jules? And in terms of spreading teams out and looking for those mismatches and getting you one-on-one.
I mean, that really started with like Buffalo, the muddle huddle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's also a bit of a revenge story here too. Like
Yeah.
putting 50
The
up on
K-gun.
games, just
Highest-
letting it rip.
Yeah, and Brady out of the shotgun so much this season.
Well, I remember like the year before. Remember the Patriots lost to the
Colts.
Indianapolis Colts, and
AFC
they were up
championship game.
21-0. And the thing was they didn't have any firepower to finish it out. And then they went and signed Welk. They get Randy Moss. They bring in Gaffney. They bring in Stallworth. And it was like, oh shit, this is like an all-star team.
Put up 589 points.
500. What does that rank all time?
It's 2 right now. Denver in 2013 passed him.
They did.
They did?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's when
Peyton threw for 7
yeah.
touchdowns opening night. We went over
wow.
that game with them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking Sheriff.
Insane. Yeah, this is just 16-0, baby.
What do you remember about these Patriots teams, this specific team?
Yeah, I mean, they're unstoppable. I mean, the Giants played them last game of the season.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
and lost, but kind of, and I think that gave the Giants. I do remember right after I was talking to Strahan, those guys, like when they were getting after Tom so much, they're like, "There's no way it could be this easy. Like they're setting us up. There's no way." So they almost held back, and it wasn't until like the second half, they're like, "Oh no, we're really fucking just getting after them. Let's go!" And they released the Hounds more. That was a hell of a front, though. You got to think about that Giant front. That was a hell of a front.
Let's get into them.
10-6 Giants team started off rocky 0-2, and there was a lot of a little bit of controversy.
They were trying to fire fucking Coughlin.
I was just going to say there was a lot of uncertainty heading into this year. They lost Tiki Barber.
They got hot.
Their guy for so long. Coughlin is the fourth year of the Coughlin era. Fourth year of the Eli era.
AP was smart as shit as a player.
Unbelievable.
All right. Brandon Jacobs and Mom Bradshaw was that little Thunder and Lightning.
Unbelievable backfield, too.
Thunder and Lightning, definitely.
Even Thunder and Lightning for them, who's that?
This is their first season without Tiki. Remember, he took
he went to NBC, man. Tiki was kind of throwing some shade mid-year at Eli, and it's just a lot of New York uncertainty. The media,
but that
baby.
O-line was also really underrated. Deal, McKenzie, O'Hara, Richie Seibert, Snee, Rugenberg. Like, that was a really underrated offensive line.
Now, how close were you with these New York teams?
Extremely.
Because you knew Stray, you've been around the facility for, at this point, this was 12, 13 years. So you always had that was like your home team kind of.
Yeah, I was very, very, very close to this team. But I had also moved to Arizona at the time, a few years earlier, to actually move for a fight team. And then 3 weeks later, you're never doing this again. But I was happy I left.
Yeah.
But I was still really, really close to these guys. Extremely close.
Jackie, let's jump into the game.
Heck yeah. And we'd be remiss if we didn't shout out Spags in this defense.
Spags.
Turning up the blitzes, leading the league with 53 sacks.
And what people don't remember, too,
They only rushed 4.
That year,
Need to.
first 2 games, I think they gave up 50 points both games.
Yeah, they a total of 80 points in week 1 and week 2.
Okay, so 40 and 40?
Yep.
And it was like, I remember they had a talk as a defense saying, guys, it was like, we think we know what we're supposed to do, but we're playing like we only think. We got to go. No matter what, whatever we go. And it kind of changed them. And man, Spags is so smart. And that's what I said about Andy Reid, you never want to disappoint him. Spags does the same thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to let him down.
And he's an Andy Reid guy, right?
Yep.
And it's funny you mentioned that speech because then they go out in week 4, sack Donovan McNabb 12 times. 12 times in a game.
Yep.
Unreal.
Started getting dialed.
Unreal. Leading up to this thing, we mentioned earlier we had the week 17 matchup, 38-35. This was a little bit of a measuring stick game for the Giants. They thought, hey, we can play with these
gave
guys.
Them confidence. No
It's a
doubt.
whole world team, man.
Gave them confidence.
Now, in the media world, this matchup was what was this matchup?
This is Buster Douglas and Tyson. Right? There's no shot.
Oh, I like that
That's what it was.
analogy.
Right? There's no shot. They were Mike Tyson. They were not even close.
Not even close.
And the Giants just eked it in.
Yes.
Right? I think with
they needed to win
they needed
6
some
to
help.
get in.
Yeah, it took a win in week 16 in Buffalo to get him in. They got that 5th seed.
Dude, that Lambeau Field game, the Giants Green Bay game that we did on site, that was the coldest thing I've ever felt.
I think it was the reddest Tom Coughlin's face has ever been.
It's just pretty.
They were worried about him.
Who was the quarterback there?
Favre.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Favre threw an interception in overtime. But it was, we were on set, and Jimmy Johnson poured a glass of water in a glass, and at the end of the segment, went to pour it over, and it was totally frozen.
Wow.
Showed me
Oh
how
my
cold
God.
it was.
So crazy.
It was brutal. And in that game, the other thing, I'm standing over by one of those heaters, and it caught fire. And Vicky Trilling, our wardrobe chick, she's like, drop and roll. I'm like, there is no way I'm dropping and rolling in front of all these fans. I will
the
fucking
frozen
burn
tundra.
before I drop and roll. No shot.
Old Vic.
I mean, it was insane, that run. 10 straight road wins. Really had that road warrior mentality coming into this one. Went down to Tampa and beat Rondé and the Bucks. Go down to Dallas and beat Jerry and those boys in Jerry World. And then, as we just mentioned, go into Lambeau, win in OT. Make it hard on yourselves. You missed 2 field goals. Lawrence Steins redeems himself in overtime. It was... The Giants they liked making it hard. But they found a way to win every week, it seemed like.
This was a David versus Goliath.
Big
No
time.
doubt.
How'd you watch this game? You
I was there.
guys were working
This is
it.
our game.
So what are you doing? Are you in a green room watching this with the boys? Like this last year?
No, I think, we were both. We go back and forth between the field and our green room, yeah. But I remember standing out there more than usual. Because I knew it was Stray's last game, too.
You knew that?
Yeah.
That wasn't public, right?
No.
How much did you talk to him that week leading up to the Super Bowl?
think we hung out Monday and Wednesday.
Nice.
Oh, I threw a party that Wednesday. They all came. So did the Patriots. I used to throw this Glazer Palooza Super Bowl party every year, and that was my first one. It was at my house in Arizona, and it was masterful. Where there's 160 women and 60 dudes, and I had my fight
Sick
team
ratio.
there.
Great ratio.
Yeah.
And they would go around and say to all the stray dudes who you're with, here with those go. Sorry, there's a strict no dude policy. You got to leave. And we had limousines outside, send them all out, and it was literally just for my friends. You got to be like one of my friends or a pro athlete, and then all the Scottsdale gals. It was fantastic. It was brilliant. It was fantastic.
Now,
Richie Incognito was the dancing girl behind the screen.
Hey, Richie. Shout out Richie.
He was my dancing girl behind the screen. It was great. But then I had a Super Bowl party every year after that for charity, and it was huge. And I called it Glazer Palooza.
how many
just to piss off
How many
Strahan
Super
and
Bowls
them.
have you been to now?
95 years. Patriots, Packers was my first one.
Wow.
And from there on,
down in New
Orleans
Orleans.
one.
New Orleans, yeah.
So when did you know at this point in this game when it was going back and forth, like Giants are up 3, New England scores 7-3 at half? When did you feel that like
I told you, I
Stray?
felt it
Right, you felt it right away.
in warm-ups.
3-game warm-ups.
Remember, yeah.
Because of the seriousness of each
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. One was locked.
So you thought the Patriots
You
were
could
going
see,
through the
you could
motion.
tell, I think. No, I just, not through the motions, but yeah, like, again, it's Buster
Overly
Douglas.
confident?
It's Buster
Confident?
Douglas. Kind of the same thing with Tyson, right? Like, this guy's 42-1 underdog. I'm good, right? And I'm sure they'll say no, but that was my take of what I felt when I was there. But also, maybe they did that every game. I don't know. That's the first time I'd seen them. So they might have done it every game. I just remember how much it stood out.
Now, when that crazy helmet catch comes, you're like, this is destiny.
I was there on the sideline for that. I was just like,
Which sideline?
Giants.
Well, what's the team doing on the sideline? They're going nuts. Like, no
Nuts.
way.
And they can't believe it. It's just, but also everybody's immediately looking up to make sure. It's just like,
Yeah.
you just can't believe it. And they were going crazy. But you know, Stray also told them beforehand, we're going to win this 17-14 on the sideline.
That's right.
I think he did.
Yeah,
He was
did.
going up and down
He
the
definitely
sideline
did.
saying it.
Yeah.
We're going to win this 17-14. Like, yeah, he's a phenomenal leader.
Minute left. Yeah, there was a
Yep.
minute left.
Phenomenal leader.
1:15, 3rd and 5.
Look at
Down
Wes's
4.
numbers.
Patriots blitz 0.
Look
Dean
at Wes
Pease.
Welker's
Plexico
numbers.
Burris in the end zone.
Yep.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that's crazy. That,
35 seconds left.
After that play, I think I've told this story a million times, but every day pre-practice, Randy Moss would look at Dean Pease and say, Dean, that blitz 0 took my ring off my finger. Because it was that
Oh,
third,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
3rd and 5 call.
It's crazy that Plaxico's game-winning touchdown kind of gets overshadowed by
does.
the helmet catch. Like,
It does. What'd you say to Stray after? What was the first thing you said to Stray? You're a champion.
I remember we kind of hugged and he had to go up on the podium. That was it. And so then I went to his party after.
Who's performed?
He just had this party at this club, and I got in a fight. Me and Chuck Liddell and his little manager. Michael got a little mad at first, but he has a little manager named Brad Marks. And Chuck and I were in, and this bouncer like stopped Brad from coming in. We're like, no, he's with us. And Brad's like, I told you. And all of a sudden, this bouncer, I think played football at ASU, picks him up and runs him through the fucking room, smashes him to like this door, and then keeps going. I was like, whoa. And I grabbed the dude behind the shirt. I'm like, stop. This is Chuck Liddell's manager. And he was about to murder this guy. So I kick his back foot out.
Sweet.
Right?
Sweet.
Jump on top, and I mount the guy and start neck cracking him. And I'm like, hey, stop. Dude, this is Chuck Liddell's manager. And all of a sudden, I see like 20 feet come over. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm about to get stomped out. So I'm just on this guy like this, and I'm waiting. And then I kind of look. I see all these feet, and nothing's happening. And Chuck is standing over me going like this. And everybody's like, put it away, Chuck. Put it away.
the Iceman cometh,
And
baby.
the cops came and said, Chuck, Jay, you guys are good. Go down the back stairs.
Man.
Strary's pissed.
I
I'm like,
love
dude,
it.
I didn't start it. This guy's doing this.
That's how you celebrate a Super Bowl.
That's how you celebrate a Super Bowl.
Oh,
Having Chuck
man.
I
Jones
remember that
beat your
same
ass.
one. Chuck and I got McLovin into the Maxim party.
Whoa.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Wow.
Because
have a
everybody
fake
knew he was
ID?
underage.
Mick
We got him
Lovin.
in. We got McLovin in.
Fake ID from Hawaii.
Old Mick
Organ
Lovin.
donor. Shout out McLovin. Oh my gosh. This was 17-14. The Giants were 12-point underdogs in this one. Maybe the biggest upset in Super Bowl history.
Is that the biggest? Well, what's the biggest?
Point spread, I believe it is 12. Let me double check here on the chart.
Is this the biggest NFL upset in the history of the league?
Yeah.
Not even close. Is that the best team to never win a Super Bowl?
Yes.
Is that team That team's ranked up all-time teams, even though
Because
they
any other
didn't win the
day
Super
they
Bowl.
would have won, like, against anybody.
I know, it's crazy.
Right? More points than anybody else. Defense is beyond loaded. By the way, look at this. Most watched Super Bowl in history at 97.5. And what do we have this year? 137?
Yeah.
Something like that?
That's just the game's grown 30 million views.
And the Giants bring home the first Super Bowl since '91 when they beat Buffalo 20-19.
Oh, my God.
Remember that one? We did that game with John Bon Jovi.
We did
on
that
the
game with
pod.
John
Super
Bon
Bowl
Jovi.
25. Stray got his first Super Bowl and retired after the game. Would join Fox NFL Sunday and be teammates with you guys.
How cool is that you're friends and then you get to work at Fox?
I
together?
know.
Well, not only that, Curt Menefee, too, when Stray couldn't drive me home, Curt would.
Really? Menefee was around back then?
Yeah,
in
he
New
was
York?
working
He
at
was doing-
Channel 5.
Yeah, in New York.
Oh,
And so I really learned. And then he and I hosted a show together called Unnecessary Roughness at Madison Square Garden.
Sure.
And they actually asked me, you could have any player you want to co-host it with. And first I was going to do it with Tiki. And I said, can I actually have not a player? Can I have Curt Menefee? Because I want to learn how to host. And he was one of my best friends. And I got to learn. You always got to work at your craft. You know, I want
That's
to
the best.
always learn, right?
Yeah.
And Curt is the greatest. So we did that together. And that's the thing. The three of us always kind of, whenever something cool happens, we definitely don't act like, been there. Like there's several times you were like, can you believe we're all doing this?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Gratitude.
You got to enjoy those moments.
We have those every time we're at something cool or big or
You guys should go to
we had
Gratitude
dinner.
Cafe together.
On Larchmont.
We live in Gratitude Cafe.
That's right, baby.
Official Giants after party. It was at Tao in Vegas.
Oh,
Okay. So I asked the
Wait,
time.
in Vegas, where was the Super Bowl?
Arizona.
No, so it was like a week later, whatever. They were throwing like a Tao, after party, Giants Super Bowl party, right? And with Strahan. So I'm living in Arizona at the time, and I'm training again with like Julius Peppers and all these guys. So I asked Pep, and Pep was my direct training partner, which is stupid. And I'm fucking stuck with Sasquatch. And Jason Kyle, who's a long snapper for the Panthers. They say, you guys want to come out? I'm going to go to Vegas for it's the Giants. You want to come? They're like, yeah, we'll go. So they come out. Well, Tao thought Michael was getting all the Giants. Michael thought Tao was getting all the Giants. There was one Giant there and two Carolina Panthers for the New York Giants Super Bowl party.
Oh, man.
Tao knows how to do it right.
Miscommunication.
That's called cross-pollination right there, boys.
Oh, my
All right,
God.
let's name the game. Is this the 18-1 game, which it's already on the scorecard as 18-1? The David Tyree game? The 18 wins and 1 giant loss game? Mic drop game?
Double entendre there.
Strahan, This one's for Strahan game.
It's the David Tyree game.
This is the David Tyree game. Score the game. Is this the greatest game of all time? Let's score it. Stakes, Jay. 0 to 10. Decimals, okay. The stakes of this undefeated season on the line game.
Stakes are 10. Yeah.
This is a 10 for me.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Double tens?
Yeah, absolutely. Because this
This is history.
The only two bigger stakes, this one, and then this year with the Chiefs to be a three-peat.
Yeah,
Right, that's it.
That's
That's
Right,
it.
because it has extra
They're the only
stuff.
10s.
that is exactly.
Only 10s.
Jack at a 9.7. I had a
9.7.
9.7. We have done this game before. It was our very first episode, episode 1. We had Eli Manning and Teddy Bruschi on. They zoomed in. So we have an existing score from this. So that was a 9.7.
Star power, a lot of stars on teams.
Lot of
in
stars.
Field. Alicia Keys pregame over here, warming
Tom
up.
Petty.
Tom Petty.
Tom
halftime
Petty.
Tom Petty.
R.I.P.
R.I.P., man.
Star power. So here's the thing. At the time, you wouldn't think so. A lot of guys have become stars as a result. Right? They're bigger. A lot bigger
Patriots
names.
had stars on that
had stars.
team,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Patriots are $1 billion
Yep.
in star power. Giants were probably a
Just
6 in star power.
Strahan, Manning.
Like you had O.C. and you had, Antonio Pierce,
Strahan.
right?
Strahan was a star,
Yeah. But that's about Eli and Plex.
so you got to grade it.
Plex was a star. So
Star
if
power.
I had the Giants at 5 and them at a 10, that's 7.5, right?
7.5. Wow. I'm gonna go with like an 8.5. 9. Yeah.
Jack had a 9.1.
I had a
I had
9.1.
8.5.
But I'm thinking about back
Our
then.
current was 8.7.
You wouldn't think
That's
they're
fine.
about to
No,
start.
that's a
I
good
think
score.
You're totally,
Right?
that's a great score.
This is your
Yeah.
score.
Yeah, that's a good score.
Gameplay of it, low scoring, but fuck.
Gameplay was incredible.
It had
Yeah.
a
It
crazy
was,
catch.
I'll say 9-7.
Stalemate
That's fine,
from
yeah.
quarters 1
9-7.
to
Yeah.
4.
But also just how they all played each other. Man, they were.
I'm
also
gonna go with
the Patriots defense was unbelievable too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were sick.
Yep.
I'm going with the 9.2.
Jack had a 3.1.
Oh, that's my homer in me.
That's his homer
The
hater
in me.
score. I had an 8.1. Our prior score was a 6.7.
No, the gameplay was great, man.
Now the name of the game, the
Just a hater.
David Tyree game.
Cultural impact when you think about this
I
game
think-
in the annals of football
Yeah.
history.
You say
sports
that, everybody
history.
knows
Well,
what
it's
you
not
mean.
up there. It's not like an ice bowl, or
Yeah.
it's not right. Like
Right.
it's not 28-3. It's not.
It's 18-1 though.
Yeah, but you're calling it the David Tyree game.
Yeah.
If you're talking like people who aren't diehards, where they know what it is, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
That's how you have to grade it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'd say it's probably a 7.
7.
This is an integrity type score there, Jay.
I care about your show.
I'm going to go with the 8.1. I'm biased because I know football names.
Jack had a 6.7 hater. I had a 9.4, and our prior score was 8.8.
Where does it put us on now?
Calculating.
8.41.
Ooh, second time go. Where does that go on?
Pretty good.
8.41. So it's currently, it goes down. It was 21. It's now tied for 25 with the other Giants Super Bowl wide right. So it's our new
Giants,
tied
man.
for
That
That
25.
Malcolm Butler game, that was one of the best games ever. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
That's a crazy game.
Yeah. And the wide right. Oh, yeah. That was, whoa.
So it's tied for
Great name, too,
25
on
with
that
wide right with the other Giants Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There you go.
We got Couture and Liddell over there. We did.
Yeah. Which one?
Right here. 52, the middle one, I think.
Middle one?
Yeah.
And Chuck got him. Wait, go back. How was the Miracle game? I saw it
Right
somewhere.
here,
But it's not.
it's 5.
It's not.
It's
That
too
was
low.
5. Yeah.
It's too low.
It's got to be up there.
Yeah.
I mean, we got 2 hockey in the top 5 though.
What's the Super Blood Wolf Moon?
That's the 2018 AFC Championship
yeah, but
game.
why was it called Super Blood Wolf Moon?
Because that's what there was like a super blood wolf moon.
Really?
That was
Yeah.
like
That
once
night,
in
yeah.
a generational thing that ever happened that night.
Pinky ass, pink
didn't know
moon,
that.
full moon.
Kind of a passing of the
So
torch
if
game.
you're,
Yeah.
if you're in this astrology, like
It
a lot
got
of our
really high
listeners
scores
are.
for being like the two dynasties
This
connected.
is cool, man. Hold on. I want to see this. This is pretty cool. It's
I
really
also
cool.
liked the China versus USA girls 1999 World
Any
Cup.
chest names?
Yeah.
Yes, Brett.
Women.
But Titans, Rams, that was
Oh,
sick.
yeah. We did that with
That's
Kurt
going
Warner.
up there. Yeah.
We did that with Kurt
Yeah.
Warner, right?
Yeah. We have a bit of a recency bias in some of these games. We're getting close to our 100th game
No,
that
you
we
got to
covered.
put WrestleMania 1 before WrestleMania 35.
We haven't done it
So we
yet.
haven't done that. These are only
I was
games that
there.
we've done.
You were
Really?
at WrestleMania
WrestleMania 1?
Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
You know who the referee was?
Oh.
Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
I was there, man.
Wow.
Might have to have you back and do that game.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
do
incredible.
it. I could probably tell you the whole card. I was such a wrestling fan back then.
At the Garden, too,
Yeah.
just makes it so much special.
That was
Yeah.
WrestleMania 1.
I think Liberace was the timekeeper. I'm dead serious.
Who else can you name?
Well, I don't want to get, if you guys are going to do it, I don't want to give away the whole card. But it was Mr. T and Hulk Hogan against Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Jimmy
my.
Superfly Snooker was in their corner, and Cowboy Bob Orton was in Bad Guy's corner.
Is Ben Stiller playing the cop?
That's fantastic.
It looks like him.
And there's Kurt
He does
over
like
there,
to be a man.
I know.
working at Fox 5.
That's crazy.
Jay, we miss anything about this game?
No, I don't think so. I told you all the Me Bothering Stray by Alicia Keys. Did we find out what she sang the national anthem?
And while everyone's out there, go check out Unbreakable with Jay Glazer, a mental health podcast.
Mental Wealth Podcast.
Well, mental wealth.
Yeah, she did the national
podcast.
anthem.
National anthem. yeah.
Longest in Super Bowl history.
Really?
156.4 seconds. Hope
shit-
you had
that's
the
okay
over.
with me.
Hope you had the over.
That's good with me.
Everyone be sure to check out Jay Glazer on Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat. Are you on all of them?
No, I'm on Threads, Instagram,
Threads.
X.
Ooh, Threadsman.
Yeah.
You never know. You might get a little nugget
Dude, I can't deal with.
getting tweeted up.
Do you check your shit on? Fuck no. You want to talk about
Yeah.
mental health issues?
Oh, my God.
Here and
Oh
there.
my God, some man, and you know, I post a lot about my wife and I, and these motherfuckers, the shit they say about her. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
She recently just got dragged on Facebook.
Oh, my God.
Just dragged for being with me. Like, oh, well, he has money. My wife was more successful than I am. My wife was a huge star in the '90s and had a huge. She and her sister, they're Tennyson twins. They're like the Black Pam Andersons back in the day.
Oh,
And so her twin sister, Renee, was the first ever Black Playmate of the Year. My wife was the first black model for Fredericks of Hollywood. And I think my wife was the second showcase showgirl, black showcase showgirl on Price is Right. And then she was on that
Yes.
show. Remember the workout show on ESPN2 with Kiana, Flex Appeal? That really beautiful Hawaiian girl? She was the black chick on that, and then she was the face of like 30 ad campaigns, and then at one point, and then she and her sister did Playboy together, and they're in Cuba with Fidel Castro gave them the okay, and then he changed his mind when they were there, and they had to escape Cuba, and whoever the president of the United States at the time fined Hugh Hefner $250,000 for sending the Tennyson twins down to Cuba, but they were there with Castro.
Sounds like a movie.
That's a movie right
Sounds
there.
like a
Oh
movie.
my gosh.
And then they were done with model, and they're like, don't like where the business is going. They started a clothing company. They've owned 30 clothing stores all across from L.A. all the way, Cali all the way to Idaho, and just retired in COVID.
So shout out
Man,
to Jay
yes.
Glazer's wife.
Damn right. So
Holy
the point is,
smokes.
she don't even have fucking money. I need hers.
All you Facebook trolls, shut up.
So don't.
You met her though. Is she not the
Yeah,
nicest
she's
human,
a
right?
sweetheart.
I call her
She's
her
an
sister Prozac and Zoloft. They're like, they're walking antidepressants.
That's-
You've been really nice to them, man. I appreciate it. You
Get
have.
out of here. They're awesome.
You have. You've been
They're
great
awesome.
though. But isn't that what's cool about Fox? Everybody always, I'm sure you get this now a lot, right? Are you guys really like that? How much do we love each other? Like
We do.
hang
It's-
out
it's a team.
nonstop. We constantly hang out together, right?
It
we're
is a
like-
team.
That's what other people miss. Like if you love each other, it comes across on TV. And
Yeah.
who do you want to choose? You want to choose people who are at war with each other, or people who really love each other? We were best man at each other's weddings. There's been a lot of freaking weddings. Godfather each other's kids, like raise each other, and it's a cool family to be.
sells, buddy.
Yeah, it definitely does, man.
Authenticity.
I'm proud to be your
sells.
teammate, man.
I'm,
I really
I'm
am.
happy to be your teammate.
Yeah, I appreciate
and
it.
I appreciate you letting me join around. I get to watch the show with the big boys while they're preparing. I'm a little fly on the wall watching.
No, you're good. You're
Jay
great for the room,
and
though.
Howie and Terry and Coach.
How
and
much were you
Mike.
shitting your pants the first couple of weeks being in there about what is my?
Yeah, well, you,
Yeah, tell
you
me,
see
tell me.
me.
Yeah.
I stay quiet. I just sit in the back.
Because Sean Payton used to talk his ass off, and we're like, Sean, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And
I
so
sit
we want
back.
to see what you were going to do, and you just. I think one day, right, TV said to you, you're like, okay, I'm just going to shut up and sit back here. But it's nerve wracking,
Well,
right?
you know what? I know how to be a rookie. Okay.
Yes,
The
yes.
first person I buttered up was Howie.
No doubt. At
Because I
that first
remember
dinner.
the first dinner, he asked me for a dip. and
He was like, here, Mr. Long.
and so my first production meeting, Howie's sitting down, and because the big guys, they have like these cool seats. And I walked by, I didn't say anything. I just put a tin right on Howie's desk and kept it moving. He looked at me and he's like, and it was just, that's all. So I don't talk unless I'm talked to. Sometimes I've gotten a little more
You
comfortable.
wait for them to leave now, and we sit in halftime.
Yeah.
And then you
And then I'm going.
I'm like, I'm a good audience for him.
It's hard.
Right?
It's hard to stay quiet for so damn long.
But it's horrifying, right? When you're sitting, you're like, what do I do?
Not anymore.
No, at first.
At first, yeah.
At first.
They've all been, everyone, like, it's just, that's like football locker room mentality anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I had to put in my time before I could do anything and learn them, and let you got to learn how they want,
Right.
because they're the vets.
But think how hard this was for me. Again, you're a fucking Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a reporter. They don't know coming in there and all of a sudden taking airtime. Think how horrifying that was for me. And they would get up and say it from, but like, we don't want this kid here. Like it was brutal, man. But now, thank God,
But
we
at
got
least
through it.
we're teammates now.
Teammates, man.
It's been awesome. Got our little bracelet on. And Jay, thanks for coming on the show.
Appreciate it, brother. Love you, brother.
Love you, bro.
Thanks, man.
Man. Old Jay.
How
Jay
great.
brings the energy,
He
baby.
brings the heat.
Oh, I love it.
You got a little bit of everything from Jay. You got some fire. You got some wind. You got a couple. We almost shed a couple tears.
Oh
There's a
my
couple
goodness,
showers.
did we?
He hits every aspect of the circle when it comes to being an interviewee.
Oh man, and Jay's been through the ringer, man. He came up in New York
New York.
in the
Jersey.
'90s, Jersey,
Shore.
gritty. Man, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. as he said.
Anywhere.
Incredible. What a guy. Inspiring dude too.
He's inspired. He's an awesome dude. He literally would give you the shirt off his back.
I don't want to minimize it, because Jay's so much more than this, but as far as the vibes guy go, that's a foxhole guy. A guy you want in the avocado room with you.
Oh,
a
yeah.
guy you want
Yeah, but you can't tell
to
me
watch
his
a game.
secrets.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, he might break.
Well,
He's a man of integrity though.
Sources say.
Sources. AKA sources, Jay Glazer.
foxhole guy, he definitely is though, because
100%.
there'd be a grenade thrown in the avocado room. Jay, just to show his toughness to Howie, would probably go jump on it.
Does he still try to impress Howie even after all these years?
Like everyone, like
No, for
you
sure.
know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because you could tell. You remember he said in an interview, he goes, all the guys were busting my balls because he's the only
Yeah.
Retired
football
player,
guy,
yeah.
and Curt, and so, but Curt has different energy, Jay's getting in there.
Oh yeah, it's insane the lore he has with Stray and Menefee. Like they go back way deep, driving them to practice. Like,
and that's why I think there's so
unreal.
much great chemistry on the show.
It's insane,
Man.
It's
fun to hear these stories and learn that because I didn't know that. I didn't know
any of that stuff, and
I didn't know any of it. I work with him.
I want to be a fly on the wall for him drinking with those coaches at the owners meeting.
Oh yeah, we got to get to the. We got to get. You know what? We should throw Jack in the coaches meeting.
I like that.
Jackson.
Yes, just paint me like a brick pattern, and I'll just lean up against the wall like the whole time. You won't see me, you won't hear me.
Put you in some
or do I
mattress.
get to hang out
Jay
and
can
pull up a seat at the table?
Create a role for you to be there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to be like in a ghillie suit in the bush, like looking like a bush. Like I want to be there. I want a seat at the round table.
I don't know if you'll get a seat, Jack.
Standing room only.
Yeah, you could be standing room. Like you'd have to go get like a couple waters and stuff for the guys.
Yeah, I'm down.
I mean, you'd be like offensive assistant.
Yeah, I like that.
Or, like
guy. Yeah,
what are the GAs?
Yeah.
In college,
the
I
grad
forgot what they
assistant?
call them in the pro. It's like the offensive
coaching assistant, whatever.
or something.
Turn the lights on.
Maybe like Dan Campbell's ottoman if he needs one. I'll just get
You know
down.
what? The more you can do, Jack, you'll learn that in that room full of men. The more you can do.
The more you can do. You know what I wanted to ask him, didn't get to. Does any coach got like a real weird order that you clown him for? Like who's pulling up with some White Claws or ordering like an apple teeny? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we didn't get into
to
drinks.
ask. Seemed like one of those things that he could only be so tight-lipped about what goes on there.
I bet you old Andy, though. Old Andy opens
Virgin
up by
pina
drinking
colada.
a Coca-Cola, a little caffeine in there.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey, as long as it's cold, I think they're allowed to.
No,
I thought cold you're allowed to.
I don't know.
I thought it was just hot.
We can't do any caffeine.
I don't think there's any caffeine.
But they love the soda. The Mormon, the LDS members love sip in the soda places and loading up those sodas, baby. Have you seen those?
Austin Collie used to love soda, and
Did
he's
he
a
really?
Mormon.
Man.
He used to love. He loved his soda.
Remember how many times Peyton Manning hung him out to dry over the middle?
I don't think he does.
I don't.
Stop.
Sorry.
All right, let's get into more of a chill mindset.
Hold on. I want to speculate wildly on how Jay got that Spygate tape.
Yeah, what the heck, bro?
Yeah.
That was.
Let's just speculate wildly about
How
it.
the hell did he get it? We just had the guy that literally tried to take down our freaking organization.
He plays it at party. Like,
Plays it at parties.
Plays it at parties
Feels like
is
that's
wild.
I feel like they don't teach you that at journalism school.
yeah. I mean,
Wait, but how did he really get that?
I can just picture.
Will you let me speculate wildly?
Yes, speculate wild.
Disclaimer for audience: this is made up in fiction. Eric Mangini.
Man,
Okay.
genius, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, not him, but there's still someone on the staff that maybe he wanted to go to the Jets, but maybe he got blocked or something. And that person had the tape, and they sent it.
Wait, so you think
I don't mind that
Mangini did
theory.
it?
I think Mangini was pulling the strings. I don't think he had the tape. I think there was a mole inside the Patriots organization, or it could be front office person, right? Because didn't the NFL have that?
See, I don't know. That's before my time. The spy. I wasn't we didn't really. It was national, but it wasn't like you're hitting the West Coast when you're 12 years old, 14 years old. Spygate.
Yeah.
What was that? That was what, 2006?
7, yeah.
Yeah.
7?
Opening week.
I wanted to know-
Actually, I was in college.
I wanted to know if it was like a.
Heading down to the Champ Sports, hanging out with the boys.
I wanted to know if it was
Walmart.
like a
Walmart.
DVD tape, like if it was still like magnetic tape
I wonder.
versus being like a DVD. And if it's tape to play it, does he still have like a VCR setup?
At his
Or
crib,
does he
just for
like,
that, yeah.
Does he have like a Sony Handycam that he plugs into his TV and he plays it back on that way?
That's got to be a tape.
Gotta be tape.
Yeah.
I also wonder why'd they say they destroyed the tape when the NFL got there? Like,
Yeah,
why would you
yeah.
destroy? I don't ever understood that. Destroy the evidence, like when they showed up.
It's either damning or not damning. It's one or the other.
Right, but like, why would you admit to? You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing. It's like, oh, you
So
guys.
to get it, you're over with it.
It's like with
Yeah.
to go full circle here, audience you might not follow, but like what they did with Osama bin Laden.
Oh
They
yeah,
destroyed the tapes.
that's right.
Yeah.
They said his porn collection was crazy, insane. Now I'm thinking of Jay, like when Jay's showing it at a party and he invites like some ladies over or whatever, and like some girl's like walking around with a beer at the party, and she just like stops and like she's like, "Oh my God, is that Brian Schottenheimer's hand signal in a gotta have it situation? What, where did you get this?" And he just like impresses the heck out of her. He's like, "Yeah, I got the tape. Yeah, the only one that exists right here." She's like, "Oh wow, Jay, I love you. You're so
Freaking
cool."
Jay.
He was great.
Just
Old
impressing
Jay.
the ladies.
He also had the other tape for Deflategate.
Oh yeah, what is
This guy's got tape.
Lord
He
of
got
the
more
tapes.
tape than a goddamn trainer.
Jay's basement just looks like a Blockbuster.
God. This guy's got tapes.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking Jay, thank God he's
Insane.
our teammate now. Whew.
I love him.
Now it's time for the Chill Zone, brought to you by Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/GWN and celebrate responsibly.
Ooh, I love that sound. Cheers, Bubba.
It's time for another edition of Starting Five,
Let's go.
the game where we build the ultimate starting five for any situation. This week, we are building our starting five celebrity sports fans.
Oh, I like where we're going here.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Give us the whole thing, Jack.
This ain't just for basketball, baby. You can have a starting five for anything. What we're going to do here, snake draft. Kyler, I'm going to need you as the commish of this to keep me in line
Yeah,
here.
I got you.
Going celebrity sports fan, you're trying to build your ultimate starting five. Those people you see courtside, the guy you see right behind home plate, the dude that's tweeting every game, the celeb that you know just bleeds for their team, the diehards.
All right.
Full disclosure here. There are no names on the board. There's no pool. So Jules doesn't have a pool. We have computers. Scouts honor.
I'm not looking.
I'm not
I'm
searching.
not looking.
All from the dome.
This is from the honor code, straight from the
We
dome.
gotta go five.
When you think of this team and you think fans, those people that come to mind.
Who's going first?
You're going first.
You're going first, baby. Lead us off.
Or do you
Kenny
want Jack
Lofton.
to go first? Are you scared?
I'll let Jack go to
You're
first.
a little scared? You don't want the ball in crunch time? Okay.
Ooh.
Jack.
With my first pick in the celebrity fan starting five draft, I'm going with my man, Jack.
That's a great 101.
Jack Nicholson.
All right, now me.
Courtside, baby.
Now you. Oh, you're fucking my shit up.
Sitting with Lou Adler.
I'm going Spike Lee.
I like it. Did I take your pick?
I mean,
You don't
everyone
have to
knows
say-
Jack.
Yeah, you got to go Jack. Jack, I know.
Okay, I'm going to go.
I like Spike. Great pick.
I'm going to go Will Ferrell.
So now
Ooh.
for
For USC?
For all
Just
of,
all
just
of them? Okay.
all of it, right? He covers multiple sports. LAFC owner. He
Yeah.
shows up to Kings games. USC guy.
I like that idea, but I will say unexpected.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
What were you expecting?
I don't know,
Okay, so
but
then
I like it. The
it's-
one line's pretty strong here.
You know, I go because now it goes to me.
No, it goes to me now. We're gonna snake it.
Okay, go ahead.
See, that's why you got to keep me honest. I don't.
This
let the
is
snake
purely
confuse me.
for the memes and the topical. I'm gonna go with Timothy Chalamet.
Oh no, you took Timmy. Damn the snake draft. I hate the snake. I wanted to take Timmy.
Timothy Chalamet. Is that
Yeah,
his name?
he is bringing back. I mean, you've seen the memes, the swag, the aura. We haven't seen that in years.
Yo,
And I'm a Knicks
if you
hater.
want to go with that kind of recency bias,
It's your turn now, Jules.
you want to go with that? I'm going Pat McAfee with anything Indiana.
Wow.
Okay.
I like that. Sleeves off, baby.
I mean, he hypes up. He tried to change the Thunderdome into the Pacer Dome.
Honestly, he turned
Thank
that thing
God
into
Hawk
Monday
didn't
Night
let
Raw.
him. Hawk didn't let him because of the champion dome, but he really does support all the Indianapolis
does.
teams.
He
He loves
does.
those teams, and I remember him talking about them because he always had Halliburton on the show early.
Mm-hmm.
Halliburton, they were talking about it early in the year, like we're a good team, man. So it's been fun to watch them do well, and he's been on that. He's a big ass Indiana fan.
He's repping him.
Basketball does have somewhat of an unfair advantage here just because courtside is so
Courtside.
much more involved than any other team.
Damn, the last notable Indy fan was freaking Jared Fogle, man. He's really putting it on the map.
All right, we gotta.
Sorry, I forgot about
All
my
right, I
boy
got
John
one, I got
Mellencamp.
My freshman year at Virginia Tech, I go to this is one of the bullshit afternoon games, and like they did a thing between the third and fourth quarter where they did the hokey pokey because the Hokies where they had like the band, all the
love
tuba
it.
players would go out on like the goal line and do the tuba and left foot in, right foot in, that whole thing, and they would get celebrity guests to join them. And they had, Jared Fogle was one of the
Why was he in
celebrity guests.
Blacksburg?
I don't know, promoting
Bro.
Subway.
Oh my gosh, dude. With my second pick, I think I'm going to have to take the homer pick here And I'm going Donnie Wahlberg, baby.
Donnie.
Blue Bloods, baby. Boston Blue, baby. Let's go, Donnie.
Now who's up?
Now it's Europe.
Fucking, we all know what time it is when we hear this name.
Let's go.
Kid Rock. We know he's talking Detroit.
Oh,
Motherfucking
no.
Lions in this bitch.
What a pick. Wow.
Come on, baby.
Wild
Detroit,
pick.
stand up.
Wild
Detroit,
pick.
we need to have a good year.
Wild
Eminem's.
pick.
I'm not
Wild
going to say
pick.
names, but bro.
I did not expect that.
Bro.
Most unexpected pick of the draft
Hell
so
yeah,
far.
Kid
Okay, so
Rock.
it's my turn.
I met him at the Derby a couple times. We took down a couple silver bullets together.
I'm going Ice Cube.
Oh, shit.
Wow, president of Raider Nation, bro. I'm going with another homer pick here, and it pains me to pick a New York Knickerbocker fan. Let's take our boy Sam Morril, baby.
Sammy.
Come
Yeah,
on,
he's been
baby.
high on them Knicks since we met him.
I know. What's he think about Tibbs? We got to ask him.
I know. What the heck? That's
I'm going to shoot him a
crazy.
text. We'll text him.
Okay, I thought he was doing it. I don't get basketball.
It's,
I thought he was a good coach.
They said Karl Anthony Towns didn't want him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there was
See,
some.
the players be running that locker room.
I know.
So it's my turn to go again.
Yep.
I mean, Snoop Dogg.
Oh, Snoop D-O double G, baby.
For who?
For
You got a very
he's
LA
a
list
sports
here.
fan. He's
You
a
got a very
sports
LA
fan.
list here, Kai
He's
guy.
a sports fan.
Yeah, for sure.
And shout out Gin
Ball
and
knower.
Juice rocking a Penguins jersey.
Ball
that was
knower.
sick as hell.
That was Tool.
Okay, Jules.
Fucking Wahlberg, dog.
Gotta go, yeah, baby.
Gotta go Wahlberg.
2 Wahlbergs, 1 draft. Let's go.
Come on, dog. We got
Represent.
Wahlberg here. We got Wahlberg. Hey, we got. Come on, dog.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Jack,
love this.
These are your last 2.
Oh, am I picking back to back? Let's go with John Bon Jovi. Friend of the show, JBJ.
JBJ.
That was going to be mine.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah.
That was a late
And now do
addition.
you get to go again?
Yeah.
Is it
snake
me
draft.
again?
Yeah, snake draft.
Oh, man. This guy that's on my mind right now, it's tough because he's not really a fan of any team per se, more of a fan of ball. I think I want to go with James Goldstein, my main man.
Okay.
Jimmy Goldstein.
cool.
How we like that one.
I like that. Jack.
that.
It's a very you list.
Yeah, I like this list.
For my last one.
I wish these teams could be like 10 people long.
No, I've hit a little bit of everywhere.
Mhm.
I think I gotta go Midwest again.
Okay. The Heartland.
Fly over.
I think I gotta go Heidi Gardner.
Yes.
Gardner.
It's crazy. We haven't said a Kansas City person yet.
She knew
I'm-
game.
I just
She
got
really
locked
did.
and loaded.
She got game. When we
Love
she
Heidi.
broke down the sport. She was throwing out Super Bowl parties.
Yeah, she knew ball.
Play names. Play calls.
Superstitions,
Yes.
too.
Superstition.
Hit the-
She
hit
knew
the
play
shower.
names. She knew rollout. She knew snap count. She was impressive, and she's a baller.
I would love her. Would love to have her
Man,
back.
that
in the
opens
Nut
up a
House.
whole.
And she's a real fan.
Yes,
like,
real deal.
you know,
Not some Johnny come lately fucking
no, like
bandwagon.
I love Nikki, and she makes fun of me all the time, but she just loves Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that loves the
From
Chiefs.
Missouri, so it kind of there's some tie, but yeah, I'm with you. Heidi's OG.
Wait, is
Nikki's from
Glazer-
St. Louis,
Is she?
like the St. Louis suburbs, I think. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm way off.
No, but like
Way off.
I don't think
That's
Didn't
close.
she say that in our interview though?
what.
That she just like,
Yes, like it just start like it's more of a Taylor thing.
yeah.
She's still learning the game, which we
Also,
love.
I mean, it's totally kosher for a St. Louis person to be a Chiefs fan.
They don't, yeah, since they
What?
don't,
Yeah, it's the same right there.
Yeah.
yeah, and they're,
What
they're not
else
getting
would
on
they
the
like?
NFL
The
team.
St. Louis Rams?
Yeah.
I wonder how
Man,
many people follow
that
them.
opens up so many possibilities
Oh,
for
man,
me.
Tyler, you're
I
sitting
could
pretty
go.
big.
I didn't go any West
I
Coast
could go
folks.
Chiefs.
Oh, wait up. Oh, man. No.
What?
All right, we have honorable mentions.
Wait, can we add a 6-man or something?
we should
like
have a 6-man because this is too good.
Yes.
Okay, so
I got a
I
6-man.
think I'm gonna go Paul Rudd.
Oh, Rudd Dog.
Ant-Man.
Rudd Dog.
Knows NFL, regular caller on like Good
He
Morning
does
Football.
love like all the sports.
Yeah.
And who told us
Royals,
the
yeah.
story where he put it in one of his deals where he had to be traveled during the movie if they made the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Was
we're
that a
doing,
Wrigley story or who told us that?
we're
yeah.
doing an honorable mention now.
No, this is
Yeah.
6-man off
6-man,
the bench.
I like
6-man. So then it's my turn because it's the snake draft.
Okay.
Guy Fieri.
Yes.
Good one.
Boy, you got Raider Nation
Dude,
represented.
you guys
well.
are smoked. My team is so do your thing and I'll gloat after.
Who's up next, Jules?
Yeah.
I'm still thinking of here. There's so many good possibilities.
Coming off the bench, and you know he gonna light up some threes and some like Fila's or something with some baggy ass shit on. Adam Sandler.
Yes, the Sandman. I was hoping you'd say it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say it.
How did he last this long?
I know.
But he loves some shitty teams too.
Like the Jets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin James down there on the sideline
I know.
representing, baby. That's a great one.
Sandman, I can't wait for Happy Gilmore 2 coming out, man. Let's go.
It's going to be awesome.
What is he just streaming? It's free?
Yeah, Netflix.
Is it Netflix?
Tight.
Yeah.
You pay for Netflix.
When is it? Soon.
July. Let me double check.
Is he going to go to theater first?
I don't know. That's not Netflix's model.
July 25th. Coming up.
Damn.
Not too long. It's
25th.
going to be awesome. Killer Trav in there.
Maybe we can get. Maybe we can break through and get Sandler on to promote that.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Sandman, yeah, we got it.
Sandman in the Nut House. Woo, woo, woo. That would be epic. For my sixth pick, I'm going with a friend of the show, a guy we have absolutely no beef with, Ben Affleck. We love you, Ben. We love you, bro.
Affleck.
Jack, say your team.
Jack Nicholson, my man. Donnie Wahlberg, Sam Morril, JBJ, John Bon Jovi, James Goldstein coming in, and off the bench, the sixth man, Ben Affleck, my main man. Jules?
I got Spike Lee, Pat McAfee, Kid Rock, Mark Wahlberg,
Mikey Mac.
Heidi Gardner, and Adam Sandler.
That's a great list.
I got Will Ferrell, Timothy Chalamet, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, Paul Rudd, and Guy Fieri.
That's a list.
Yeah.
Oh, man, who
not
does
even-
Will Ferrell like?
It's not even close.
Who does Will Ferrell like?
USC Trojans, the Dodgers,
You
the
can't
Lakers.
be on this list for just
he owns
just,
the LAFC.
USC. These USC people think that too.
Bro,
like,
you have Kid
look,
Rock on your list.
Show
What are you
up late,
fucking
leave
talking
early.
about?
USC people out here, they're like, yeah, dude, you're like, we're basically a pro football team.
Yeah,
no, you're not.
Fight on, bro.
You're not.
Dude, I got current.
Liner,
I got
you and
historic.
Liner, bro. You and fucking
I got
Liner.
historic.
Doing TikTok
I've
down
got
in Marina
East
del
Coast,
Rey.
I got West Coast. I got football. I
Manhattan
got
boots, sorry.
basketball. I got some hockey in there. Dude, you're just jealous. My
Got
list
my
is
Aviator
sick.
Nation hat on.
What are you talking about? I got hockey in there too. Sandman loves hockey.
Oh, yeah.
Does he?
Yeah, he
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore, dog.
Yeah, but he's a Rangers guy, but he's rocking a Bruins jersey. Is he a
yeah,
Rangers guy?
he fucking
think so.
he method acts, dog.
He's from New Hampshire, but he's all New York.
Spike Lee likes fucking the Rangers too.
Spike, baby.
McAfee, he's a Pittsburgh Penguins
He
fan.
is a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. I was trying to go Penguins
Kid
fan.
Rock
I just-
loves the Red Wings.
Was I going to do Dave Fellini? There's not a lot of like.
You know Wahlberg he goes to Bruins games. I've seen him. He's dropped the fucking puck.
Oh, yeah.
Gardner, but you got me on one. I
Ball
don't know
knower.
No, she's great.
I don't know if she's got a
great.
hockey team though.
I don't know.
See my all
Maybe
my
the
all my
Blues.
teams are
The
versatile.
Blues.
John Hamm's a blues guy.
John Hamm's a Blues guy because he was a Rams guy before he hopped to Chiefs. Now we could have done Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt's a Saints guy. Who else?
Man, that new
Brad
F1
Pitt's a
movie.
Saints guy?
Yeah,
How good is this dude?
I've heard he's like Saints or Chiefs.
Okay.
Who?
Brad Pitt.
Regardless, he looks so cool in that
He's
new
the
movie.
man. I want to see him in this F1.
Which F1 looks so good.
When is it? Comes out soon.
Yeah, it's like, let me double check here.
Because I will say this: the Maverick Top Gun was like a perfect movie.
June 27th.
It was like how they made it was like a perfect movie. Now, was it the highest level of art? No, but like how they shot it and the story and how they acted, it was like a great fucking film.
Javier
It's the
Bardem's
same,
gonna be in that?
Yeah,
He's going to be in F1? Bardem?
it's gonna be sick.
Man. I got to say, though, I didn't buy all the F1, now we're F1 fans because there's a Netflix show, but I can separate this from
I'm
that.
more of a
Yeah.
NASCAR guy
Hey,
myself.
right. That's right, baby. Swapping paint.
I like cars that all go the same speed, and the driver's determined on how he drives.
Raise hell, praise Dale, baby.
And I also like that bumping's racing. They can't bump in that open wheel shit.
Rubbin's racing.
Baby.
He hit me. No, Cole.
If
he
you ain't
rubbed
first,
you.
you're last.
And rubbing is racing.
If you ain't first, you're
We
last.
gotta hit a NASCAR race.
Great list.
We got to hit a race.
We got one.
I want
Coming up.
Earnhardt. We got Dale
We
Earnhardt
got to get
Jr.
Dale.
coming.
We got to.
We got a NASCAR guy coming soon.
I want Dale. Me and Dale spoke at the Daytona 500 for about 45 minutes.
DM him. We've been talking with him.
He's
He's
the
just
man.
in North Carolina.
He's the man.
Let's go to Chapel Hill and do some episodes.
I've
and
been
then
to a
we'll go
bunch
to
of NASCARs, man. I've low key. I've started like 2 races. The New Hampshire one.
I was there with you for that.
fucking.
You did Long Beach too.
Who was it? Kyle Busch who fucking rubbed me?
Yeah, it was Kyle Busch.
Fucking asshole. I'm in the pit car. And this guy fucking starts rubbing me, and this thing's got no suspension. I'm going like 46 miles an hour on this pitch turn. These guys are like going back and forth and stuff, warming up their tires. This little like Toyota that I have, it has no suspension. He's bumping me. I'm like, oh shit. I'm trying to start the race. It felt like I was in Days of Thunder because I looked back in the rear view mirror and he's
Underrated.
like this.
Underrated.
That soft snuck us into like the owner's box and we got kicked out. Yeah.
Look at this picture.
Their spread was so much better than the box.
And
they
then
put
we
us
took
in.
a helicopter or a jet after the Super Bowl to Daytona 500. That was sick.
You did that? That's cool.
Bro,
We
look at you in
started it,
the
Grand Marshaled it.
bro. Look at you in the M&M's jacket. Fire.
I think I still have that jacket somewhere.
Oh hell yeah,
That's a fire jacket.
that's fire. Ninko, is that Ninko?
Does that say Brewski? Oh, it's
Not
just
Bush.
Bush.
It's Kyle Bush.
Yeah.
That's Mayo, Ninko, Soldier, and
Hey.
Moi.
Let's go. What a crew.
Cool. Well, that's a comment on whose team is the best.
Yeah, you guys already know. You already know. And that was the Chill Zone brought to you by our favorite beer, Coors Like It. Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/GWN. Celebrate responsibly. And that's been another episode of Games with Names. Thanks again to Jay Glazer with the awesome stories and the insight of becoming one of the pioneers in the information drop game. And always remember to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Comment a game you want us to do. And remember,
Rate and review.
so I was watching that Pee Wee Herman doc. And I think because we did that off of Blue's Clues. I think Blue's Clues was like inspired off of Pee Wee. If you really look,
Yeah,
yes,
there's a lineage,
honestly.
there's a
nuts and bolts
lineage
of it.
there with Steve from Blue's Clues.
Subliminally,
Yeah.
yes, I think so.
So that's why, like, I remember, I don't know, I loved Pee Wee Herman.
Me too.
I watched that documentary. I was like, I don't know why I loved him so much, but I loved him. And I didn't realize how big of a guy he was in, like, pop culture at that time
Oh, I
in
know.
'86.
Yeah.
Took
So-
over. What a doc. Incredible doc.
But then
Highly
if you
recommend.
think about it, Blue's Clues is kind of like
Yeah.
Pee Wee-esque.
Yeah.
It's like millennial Pee Wee's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pee-wee's
I see
Boomer.
that. Yeah. Steve.
Steve was for the millennials, and now who's for the gen? We should do a segment like that,
I like that.
Who's
where the boomer version of this category,
Logan
and
Paul.
you
Oh yeah. The time is a flat circle type category.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
But anyways, get back and leave us a 5-star review on Spotify while you're there. Remember to follow Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat. Leave a comment on the YouTube full episode. We'll read the best ones out in future episodes. Leave a message on the old hotline. That number is 424-291-2290. See you guys next week. Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.